There's no sound. Sorry about that. So I've clicked the wrong thing. So, hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. Sorry for the no sound there. Idiotic of me. It's so that when the intro's coming in, you don't get all the clicking and everything that I'm doing in relation to starting the stream. Hi Mark, your thoughts on Sporting talking to Spurs, says Spaceship 132. Well, we've got a game against Norwich. The team news is going to be coming in very soon in relation to that. But yeah, let's start off with Bruno Fernandes. There is reports coming in that Manchester United have potentially got this deal over the line, but also that that Spurs may be talking to him as well. Which, I've said this before. I'll say it again, and I'll say it again and again. That with regards to Manchester United and with regards to this Bruno Fernandes deal, there is definitely no part of me that is saying, this deal is done. I think that would be very, very silly of us to say that. And there is definitely no part of me that is saying that that I'm going to believe it until the actual... I'm not going anywhere, I'm still here. Until the actual player is holding the shirt up. Because I think that's where I've been very consistent about that. I haven't said that I'm not excited about it. I'm not, and I have also said that if this deal was any other deal, I think I would be feeling a lot more confident about it. It's simply because it's Manchester United, and it's simply because Manchester United have the capabilities of messing any deal up. And look, it doesn't matter what I say, but the club really did expect to sign Erling Haaland. That didn't happen. The reality is, the more we're hearing about Bruno Fernandes and what went wrong in the summer, the more it's sounding like Bruno Fernandes didn't come to Manchester United in the summer is because Manchester United didn't want to pay the fee that Sporting Lisbon wanted for Bruno Fernandes. And that would not be the first time that's happened. I mean, Perisic is always the one that comes to mind where Manchester United didn't spend the money that they needed to spend to bring a player in. So, look, we're going to have to wait and see what happens with Bruno Fernandes. The sound is fine. There was no sound in the first minute because I had the audio button turned off. It is now turned on. So anybody saying no sound, you're wrong. Maybe refresh it, but you're wrong. Ryan Banzai says he believes that Bruno Fernandes is done. And I totally and utterly believe that you've got a right to think that. I think you really do. But I think that we have to... Well, you have to do whatever you want to do. But for me, until he holds that shirt up, I can't totally convinced myself that we're making this signing. That is not the team news on the left. That's my predicted team news. Of course, we've got a game against Norwich today. So I do think we'll sign Bruno Fernandes. I do think that he will come to Manchester United, but I won't believe it until I see him holding up the shirt, because I think it's a ridiculously amazing signing. You know what's going to happen, Mark? With Ndombele and Sissoko out injured, Eriksen will go to Inter and Spurs will get Bruno. You can just see it, says Jordan Such. Jose Mourinho doesn't like Manchester United because of what they did to him. Jose Mourinho has got a history of doing this exactly sort of thing. So look, do I trust... And Manchester United have got a history of not being held to ransom, as we know. So I will not believe it until he's holding a shirt up, and I think that's where we have to hold our horses, so to speak, and just wait and see what happens. I'm very excited. We've done lots of videos about it. My excitement is evident in those videos. I do want to bring it back to this game, though, and as Johan Haj says, hi Mark, I'm a Madrid fan, but been here since 2016. Love the channel, keep up the good work, and shout out to everyone who remembers the old school Dan. I do want to just say, though, that we've got a game here today that I think is really interesting for Manchester United, and I think that... What the fuck's going on with my phone? And I think that we've got to pull out a result. We've got to pull out a result, because I don't think you can move away from the fact. And as Jack Sutton says, this is just a repeat of pre-season. Everyone getting excited over this player. Come February the 1st, we'll be moaning about the incompetent board and Woodward. I do want to say that with regards to United, the bigger picture here today, in the immediate future, is 3 Premier League points against the team that's bottom of the league. Now, I said on my preview that if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer loses this, he really should be sacked. Whether I want him to be or not, he really should be, because of the performances of the team. So the team news is out, and it's almost the team that I've predicted. One change, really. Both Dan James and Greenwood are on the bench. So Juan Mata comes in. Dalot, Jones, Shaw and Gomez are on the bench. So Shaw's back fit. Williams keeps hold of his spot. Maguire comes in as captain. No place for Ashley Young on the bench. So that's looking like, that's sort of a story that we've forgotten about, isn't it? So no place for Ashley Young out on the bench. Dalot's on the bench. Jones, Shaw, Gomez, James and Greenwood. Juan Mata starts, which I actually have to say... I don't have a massive problem with Juan Mata starting today, but it's Pereira and Mata in the same team. I think, what are we doing? Are we expecting Norwich to play a low block? Because I don't think Norwich will do that, but we've got to change the team. That's right. So, yeah, the team I've predicted on the left is actually the right team. It's just probably slightly wrong in relation to where people are going to play. I do not suspect we will see Pereira playing there. I think we will see Juan Mata playing in the central position. And no place for, obviously, Mason Greenwood, which is a little bit disappointing. I mean, look, I'm just about to change the team for you now. I don't like this team, if I'm honest with you. I think it lacks pace, but it's probably more set up around trying to deal with a low block, and maybe Juan Mata can do that. But it's an intriguing Manchester United side, I've got to say. It's an intriguing Manchester United side as to how it might work. So it's changed on the screen for you now. Juan Mata. The bench is Dalot, Jones, Shaw, Gomez, Greenwood and James. No place for Lingard, we knew that. So that's your United team. Juan Mata probably going to play quite central. Matic and Fred will run the midfield. Thoughts on Ashley Young and Skriniar swaps, says Tony Bain. Yeah, there's this mysterious picture that people are getting obsessed with. It looks like it's Harry Maguire and David De Gea in it, to be honest with you. Mark, imagine it's not Bruno and it's Van der Beek and reports about Spurs come in. Would you say he's still coming to United? I think the next interesting thing for United today is going to be the 2 interviews that Ollie does before this game and after this game in relation to he's going to get asked about Bruno Fernandes. I would imagine he will probably say something along the lines of he's not our player at the moment, I don't want to talk about it. Buying Bruno shouldn't make us forget the last year, says Matthew Smith. I think that's the interesting thing. I mean, look, let's talk about the line up first. The kickoff is at 3 o'clock, so let's talk about this lineup. We'll bring Bruno into it, and we'll bring Solskjaer and Manchester United's future into it as well. Is it true Spurs have hijacked the Bruno deal? Says Jonathan Reed. I don't think so. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm relaxed. I'm very nervous. I mean, the wife said to me today, and she sort of keeps an eye on football, but she's not a Manchester United fan. She said, "Do you really think they're going to sign Bruno Fernandes?" And I was like, "Why are you saying it in that tone?" And she was like, "Well, I know you really want this player. You never shut up about him. Do you think they're actually going to buy him?" And I was like, "Well, I did until you spoke like that. Now you filled my mind with doubt. Thank you." But no, I do. I don't. It's very, very weird for me with Bruno Fernandes, because I get a lot of people asking me about it, and loads of people DMing me about it on Twitter. And I'm like, look, Nikhil Wasteman-Catini, I might be at the Manchester United stand match tomorrow. And Shalende Ray says, 442 Diamond with batter at number 10, mark my words. And hi Mark, do you think Bruno saves our season, says Kwan Burke. I don't know. But look, some people are saying, why the hell is Matic playing like Mr. Bilby? I think it is logical that Matic plays today. I do think it is. But let me just talk about Bruno, and then we'll talk about this team. A lot of people saying that it could be a 4-4-2 diamond with Rashford and Martial up front, and Pereira, Fred box to box with Mata at the head of the diamond and Matic at the bottom. If we do that, at least we're not doing 4-2-3-1 holding two midfielders. But what I would say about Manchester United and Bruno Fernandes is this, and please do share the video, everybody. There's a share button underneath. You can share it on Twitter and Facebook and smash a like on the video. But I said in the summer that Bruno Fernandes is coming to Manchester United because I've been told that, and I'm sure everybody's bored of hearing that, but I was told that. I was happy to go public on that. I don't really like going public on things because we've got quite a big community, and whatever anybody thinks, some people like what we do, some people don't, but we have a lot of people watching, a lot of people part of the community, and if I say we're signing Bruno Fernandes, then I shouldn't be just saying it as a made-up rumour that I think is going to happen. I was told it was going to happen and it didn't. It was very... I wouldn't say I was embarrassed that it didn't happen. I was more distraught because I believed it. Whether you lot believe it or not, I believed it. And I wanted that player last summer and it didn't happen. I was very, very distraught about it. And I couldn't understand it because the source that had told me and other people had spoken to, I just couldn't understand why it didn't happen. And it left me very angry because I was like, I think this is a once in a generational player for Manchester United. I think he's so important to what our future is going to be. And when it didn't happen, I was really disappointed. And I never thought, and I've said over the last few months, people have said, do you think Bruno Fernandes is going to come to Manchester United? And I've said, no, I think that ship has sunk. I don't think we're going to go and do it because I always felt that we didn't do it because they wanted 60 million and we didn't want to pay 60 million. And I think United might have wanted to pay 55 and still walk away because we've seen United walk away when it's, we won't be held to ransom even though it's the fans' money. So I just think United walked away because of money last year. I really do think that's what's happened. And I think that's why it's back on again because I think this is a player that Solskjaer wanted. Despite what he says about it was about the right player and the money was there if I wanted them, I think that's just Solskjaer being a puppet on a string. I think Solskjaer did want Bruno Fernandes, and I think United wanted Bruno Fernandes. They just didn't want to pay the 60 million that Sporting Lisbon wanted last summer. So what's happened now is, a lot of credible people are saying that United are back in for Bruno Fernandes. As I said, I spoke to the person who told me that we were signing him last summer. I spoke to them last night, and they said, "Well, I'm not." United have always been interested in Bruno Fernandes, and I believe they'll sign him in January. That's their words. And for me personally, I won't be surprised if this deal collapses because I've seen that so many times with United. I'm just excited like everybody else. I'll go absolutely. I would just be so happy if he holds that shirt up. But until he holds that shirt up, I can't truly believe because I think we've been let down so many times. But as I said last night, the people that are talking about it, it looks to me like it's going to happen. But I can't say to you it's going to happen. I've got people saying, do you think it's going to happen? And I'm like, hypothetically, yes. But you're dealing with the player that I want more than anything else. You're dealing with the player that I said we were signing in the summer. You're dealing with the player that I think will massively improve our side. It's too big for me to just go, yeah, that's going to happen. I'm 90% sure. It's like, it has to happen. But I don't trust it's going to happen until he holds the shirt. If it's 4-2-3-1, expect a draw, says Joe Dawson. Why is he risking Harry again, says Raffle. Well, let's talk about the Manchester United lineup because this is the game today. Manchester United versus Norwich, of course. So I think that the way we've lined up today is interesting. Lee Goldart says Express are reporting that Spurs are trying to hijack the deal. We'll come back to Bruno in a minute, but let's talk about United for a moment because this is a watch along. Not boarding the Bruno Fernandes ship again, Mark, says Josh Sutton. I sunk with it, so if they rise it, I'll be there coming up for air. But I think that the way we've lined up today, when you look at that team, the back four is probably our best back four at the moment. I think Brandon Williams has got that spot. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think a young lad should be playing at left back 3 times a week, but I don't necessarily think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows what he's doing either. So I predicted he would play Brandon Williams. I think Brandon Williams deserves it, but Pucky's injured, yes, Philip Chalk, so he won't play for Norwich. We'll go through their team in a minute. Harry Maguire back in the team is a risk. It is a risk, but what do you expect from Ollie and his coaches? They just don't rest players, so I'm not surprised that Maguire's playing. Into the midfield, we knew Lingard wasn't playing. I would have liked to have seen Greenwood or James playing. I'm quite surprised that neither is playing because I think they both offer us some flair and speed, and Mata doesn't. So it's a very different United side to play Mata and Pereira and Fred and Matic. I worry about the speed and creativity in that midfield four. It puts a lot of onus onto Martial and Rashford. But what I would say is that Norwich are the worst team we've played this season. Brandao says he wants Boubakary Samari. Norwich are the worst team we've played this season, and I think that we will win this game because they are not very good. Warren Dowling says test run for Bruno playing Mata in the hole. I don't want to see Manchester United playing a diamond to get Bruno Fernandes in the team. That actually look. Let's talk about the elephant in the room really here. And the elephant in the room is that Manchester United have got a situation whereby Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has had a very, very bad season, and many Manchester United fans would be very right to say that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should be not the manager of Manchester United anymore. It's been embarrassing. And I think that what's happened is we're about to hopefully make a signing which will galvanise the club, unite the fans and excite the fans. And that will give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer more time that he probably doesn't deserve. But it will do. That's a fact. Now, if we were to lose today, I can't see how I don't think he would be sacked because they're just about to make a big signing for him. But he should be sacked if he doesn't win today because the season has been horrific. And to lose at home to Norwich, who are bottom of the league and not very good, you can't be still kept in a job with after that. So I find myself in this weird situation where I've said if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer signs Bruno Fernandes, he gets my full backing because I believe this is the right player and he is signing the right player that the fans want. So I will back him and I will give him time. But I can't ignore the fact that there has been a lot done wrong. And it should never be that even if we do sign Bruno Fernandes, we all just go, let's forget what's gone wrong over the last while. We should have signed this player in the summer. That is still criminal that we didn't buy him in the summer. And that is probably why we've had a shit season. Because we didn't get a player like this in the summer. And that's on Ollie and the board. So I won't be forgetting that. Some of the results this season have been tactically inept. I won't be forgetting that. But this is like a reset button if they make this signing. So I will give him time. But actually, I can't move away from the fact that Bruno Fernandes is not a Manchester United player this afternoon. And if we were to draw or lose, then you've got to take the collective and say, what the hell's going on? So it's a weird situation is what I'm trying to say. But I think we'll win. And look, we need to win. We need to build some positivity. Because when I look at the league table and where Manchester United are in that league table at this moment, Arsenal are effectively going to draw with Crystal Palace by the looks of it. Aubameyang's been sent off. So that's good from a Manchester United point of view. And it keeps Arsenal 3 points behind us, even if they draw. So we beat Norwich. We go back up into 5th. We're still going to probably be about 5 points off the top 4 in Chelsea. But we've got to win today. It's massively important. And I think it's massively important on many levels. Because if we were to win today, then it gives us... hopefully we get the signing done. We've got Liverpool away next week, which I don't care if you sign Bruno Fernandes, Jedson Fernandes, Timo Werner, Babakary Samari, and and Jadon Sancho. That would still be a very difficult next week. So we've got to get the win today for that reason, and we've got to build on what we are hopefully going to be starting to do in relation to the transfer window. So yeah, we've got to do that, and it's bigger than just Norwich. It's much bigger than just Norwich. We've got to get a result today against them, and hopefully it can be a bit of a renaissance for United, a bit of a boost for Manchester United, and we can build on it, because we absolutely have to get the points today, and build on what hopefully is going to be a fantastic signing. But it is weird. I don't pretend that it isn't a weird situation. I can't do that. Joe Dawson says 3 midfielders who can play a forward pass excluding Matic. So if there's no creativity, Bruno needs to come. Manchester G says, well, Poch also wanted Bruno, so for me it won't change anything about him securing his job unless we have a successful season. And Josh Sutton, if this were any other season, our current points would be 13th. This game dictates whether I'm Ollie in or out. If we can't beat Norwich, he's got to go. And I think that is the weird thing, isn't it? And I want to get actually, you know what? We do this a lot, so I'm going to do it anyway. I want to get a gauge of where people are. And Benny says, Mark, your opinion on Bruno, please. I just joined the stream. Thank you. Well, I want to get your opinions, Benny and everybody. Where are you? Forget the Bruno Fernandes signing. Where are you as Manchester United fans right now in relation to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? What are you now? Not at full time, not on Monday if we sign Bruno. Where are you now in relation to Solskjaer? Are you Ole in? Are you Ole out? Are you Ole on the fence? Are you Ole till the end of the season? Are you Ole? Where are you? Because I want to get a grasp of that, so then I can realise what the most and jump on that side. No, while people are doing it, I'll tell you where I am. I'm Ole in. I'm Ole in because I think the real problems at Manchester United are the board. If he signs Bruno Fernandes, I'm Ole in because that is the player that I believe we should have got in the summer that will change United's fortunes. So I have to give the manager time with that player. Do I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be the manager next season? I don't know. Because I do have this theory, as do many people, that why did we not get Bruno Fernandes in the summer? And yet we're buying him now. When Pochettino tried to sign him in the summer and Pochettino's free. So there is conspiracy theories there. But if we lose today, I think he's got to go. I think if he loses today, he's got to go. But I don't think he will. I think he will win. I think Bruno hopefully will come in and we can start to build properly. Alligator, Bruno cannot paper the cracks over this manager's inept tactics and squad management. Any other manager would have gotten sacked by now. And lots of people are saying Ole in, Ole out, Ole out, Ole in, Ole out, 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 out. I'd say we've got about 60% of people who are Ole out and 40% who are Ole in. Mac Nicholas says that Longstaff news is back again. If we sign Bruno Fernandes so we can bring Longstaff in as well and nobody will moan about it, that's going to wind me up. United Stand account there says that check out the United Stand website, theunitedstand.com. Please do that. The link's in the video description. Not necessarily now. You can check it out now if you want to and have a look at how amazing it is, but certainly make it short part of your day routine. I'm a flip-flop, to be honest, says Benny. If we get Bruno, I'll give him time to see how we play. If we lose today, he has to go, which is pretty much what I think, really. You can't be losing at home to Norwich, can you? And I don't think we will. Lee Marsden says 13 assists and 13 goals this season from Bruno, and Lingard Pereira ain't accomplished that in 2 seasons. I've got to say, Lee, and it's right to say it, different league, different levels, agree. But I do think Bruno Fernandes and the way he plays will adapt to the Premier League very, very quickly. Some people have said we can't put any pressure on him if he comes because it's the middle of the season and it's unfair to expect him to adjust. When you think about the likes of Vidic and Evra, they were bought in the January transfer window. It took them time to adjust. So, I agree with that, but I actually don't think he will need much time to adjust. I think the sort of player he is, he'll fit in straight away. Sanagar at Toulouse is better than Samari. Cheap too, says Duke Media UK. And already have and read the Bruno article, sort of spelled it out really, says Wrath 616. Yeah, there's a very good Bruno Fernandes article on the UnitedStand.com. This is Ollie's job experience. It isn't good enough, says James Tinker. And 70KQ says, I'm Ollie out. Whether we sign Bruno or not, he got 3 signings in the summer and yet we are worse than last season. I've lost faith in him. I don't think you're the only one who's done that. Please do smash a like on the video, everybody. We've got over 10,000 watching and we are only about 17 likes away from 1,000 likes. So please smash the like button on the video. And more importantly, please do subscribe to the channel. Bottom right hand corner. We are on 620,000 subscribers, which is fantastic. But we can hit 621 today because we're actually on 620,500. So that number in the top right hand corner will change to 621 if we get over 621 today. We're 500 short. So please subscribe, bottom right hand corner if you're new. And if you've already subscribed, please click the share button. We won't want to leave you out. Click share. You can share it on Twitter and Facebook. What I would say as well, if you are a subscriber of this channel, if you're on YouTube or you will be on YouTube. You're not watching if you're on anything else. If you're on your desktop or you're on an iPad or a phone or anything like that, if you go underneath the video and you have subscribed, you'll see there's a bell. If you click that bell, you can tick to get all notifications when we go live, which is very important that you do that because last night we were live at 7:30 with Bruno Fernandes breaking news and 11 o'clock. Things happen at weird times, but we will go live. That's what we do on this channel. We're live every night at 8 o'clock. Match reactions, match chat for every game, previews, fan cams, call-ins, transfer news. But any big news, we just go live. So subscribe, bottom right-hand corner, and make sure you click the bell and tick to get all notifications because YouTube does not do that as standard. So you might wonder sometimes, I didn't get a notification that United Stand were live. You've got to click the bell underneath and tick to get all notifications when this channel goes live, and then you'll get them. And it's very important in January if you want to be kept up to date. Nakul Shakul says, I'm Ollie in till the end of 2020. He needs that much time. As long as we aren't below 8th and I like the look of the squad, then he gets another crack. Fair play, fair play. He gets another crack from Nakul. Harold Dreyer says, Ollie in till I die. Solskjaer is the real OG for the win. Jenks1102, Ollie is trying to build something. Sacking him will destroy that and leave United totally clueless. And Bash Gaming is the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Yes, if you want to become a member of the United Stand Members Club, there's a join button. You can click and join. I think it's about £4 a month. You get a little badge next to your name in the live comments, as you can see some people have got. You get access to our emojis and other bits as well. And obviously you're part of the Members Club, supporting the channel, helping us do things like going on tour, etc, etc. And also if you want to do super chats, there's a $sign there. Whack them in and we'll try and read all of those. To be honest, Mark, I only found out about you because of 44 Tunes, says Mr. Bilby. Well, high five to 44 Tunes. And if Ollie's not got us in the top 4 by March, he should go. I want him to do well, says Fraser Johnston. I'm Ollie in until after this window and next window. If nothing significant is done and the problems aren't fixed, Ollie out, says William. Look, I think, I can't. There's a clip of me on Goldbridge World saying on January the 5th, which was 6 days ago, so it was way before the big news about Bruno Fernandes. I must be a bloody psychic. I basically said that if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was to sign Bruno Fernandes, I would back him to the end, and he's gone and done it. But so if this signing happens, I'm not going to lie, I will be very excited for the first time in bloody ages, and I will be hoping that everything goes right because I really do believe in this player. But to play devil's advocate and do the other side, and this is not necessarily my view, but I can say it for sure. Anybody who says give Ollie time, and I would be giving him time because of Bruno Fernandes, no other reason, because anyone who says you've got to give him more transfer windows, the one thing that I do agree with is those people who say he's been here a year. What is the vision? What is the philosophy? Where is the good football? When was the last time you were entertained by a Manchester United game? And that's far more important than being swayed by a Bruno Fernandes signing. And I think that's right. Even though I will be swayed by it, I'll put my hands up. I will. It's different for everybody because some people to this Bruno Fernandes signing, if it happens, will say, "Oh, I'd rather get Maddison," and for them it might not change much about how they feel about the club or Ollie. For me, this is my dream. This is my dream signing for Manchester United. So it makes me very excited and enthusiastic to get behind Ollie and the team again. But regardless of that signing, if it happens, it still doesn't take away from the fact that, only 3 days ago, we were absolutely annihilated by shit coaching. It doesn't change the fact that over the last year, we've been dreadful. It doesn't change the fact that this season, we've effectively been playing with 2 centre defensive midfielders. And yet, there's a man there talking about vision, excitement and attacking football. And he's doing negative things. So, look, I agree with all that. He's got to change tactically. It can't just be sign a player and carry on what you're doing. Can he evolve tactically? Has he got it about him to do that? 2 CDMs at home to Norwich. Why just why, Ollie, says Lucan Annabelle. Well, he might not do that, Lucan. We'll have to wait and see. He might not play 2 centre-backs. We'll have to see. He might play Matic, Pereira and Fred as box-to-box and Mata as a 10 and do a diamond. So we'll have to see. Dan McDoogie, X21X, says, to me, Bruno will be like Ollie's Cantona. I believe this man will take the team higher places. Ruben Cowling says, Ollie out, Poch in. We will never compete at the top level unless we have a top manager. It's as simple as that. Second time sending this super chat. Sorry, mate. Some of them will get missed. I apologise for that. James Corker says, I wish we had a team that had the DNA of United. We have a team that seems lost without a clue. Same tactics, easy to predict and easy to beat. And Gaz Gaming UK, welcome, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. I just want to say that as well. This was something I was thinking about before I came on air. Philip Matthews says it's a lose-lose situation. If Bruno comes, Pogba is gone. Well, Pogba's gone anyway, mate. And hypothetically, could Wilder do the job with Manchester United, says eCarly2912. I don't think Wilder could do the job. But what I did think about before I came live is that we have a situation where Bruno Fernandes could be about to sign for Manchester United, right? And what does he think about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? What has he been told about that? Because I want him to come to Manchester United, but I do also believe that with United, we have got this scenario whereby we're playing badly, we're on the ropes, we're getting worse, not better, and we've got coaches that probably aren't that inspiring. And yet Bruno Fernandes wants to come. That says a lot about the player, that he probably is just desperate to come and play for us in the Premier League, and he's not really looking at the coaching or anything like that. Or has he mentioned that and been told, look, you might well be playing with Poch? So it's going to be interesting, isn't it? It's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. It is interesting. It's probably coincidental that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, that Pochettino wanted Bruno Fernandes last summer and nearly got him, and that United didn't get him. And here we are in January with United going for him, quite surprisingly, and Pochettino out of a job. Conspiracists are gonna certainly have a bit to say about that. Just gonna wind arse. I'm just tweeting to wind up Arsenal fans. It's good fun and it makes me happy. Oh yes, it does. Yes, it definitely does. Okay, let me just do something while we're live on air here, because I like to do this sort of thing. Really, you should be following me on Instagram anyway, because it's the done thing to do. But this is what we're live. Everyone's going to be live for this one. Come on. Hello everybody, I'm actually live on YouTube now. The United Stand, Manchester United versus Norwich City. We're talking Bruno Fernandes and all the match chat. Join us on YouTube, The United Stand, right now. We're live. Join us. That was fun, wasn't it? That's actually going to go up on Instagram now. It's great, isn't it? I've actually just done that on my Instagram account, and it's called @Goldbridge and I do just do bits during the day. Yeah, so score prediction for me today. I think that I will go with Manchester United to win 3-0. That's my prediction. Ashley Ramat says his phone looks so big. It probably will do in relation to the camera and perspective. Yes. A few people going 4-0. Miles de Vlog says 4-0. Steve Cottrell says 3-0. Joshua Benhur says 4-1. Ross McGivern says 3-1. Ryan Shaughnessy says 3-1. Luke Hornsby says Norwich are 2 to win 2-0 is 50-1. Hand on heart, Mark. Do you feel Mourinho was right? Second was his greatest achievement. Looking at the squad now, for your intention, I was Mourinho out and was right to get sacked, says Vinay Panka. It was a big achievement, but it was still a poor achievement for where Manchester United should be. Alligator, why on one hand, not even Ronaldo or Messi can help this squad, and on the other, Ollie gets my support till the end if he gets Bruno. I know, it doesn't make sense. Jishnu Magaji says, Mark, I was watching United stand old videos, Van Gaal to Mourinho. Remember, we're so excited about Mourinho. Pogba, Ibrahimovic, happier times, great mood lifter. Yeah, we were excited by that. And Josh Sutton says the club value are dropping, youth policy, cheap coaches and staff. Anyone else get the impression the board are trying to cut losses and try and get profit? What makes you think that, Josh? It's only what they've been doing for the last 15 years. And Aditya Suarev says Ollie needs a player who can produce a spark because he is tactically inept and requires players of superior individual ability to make him look good. I think that's a very, very good comment, and I think you're right. I think, you know, the Bruno Fernandes signing and the form of Rashford and people like Martial, they probably keep Ollie in a job. And Greenwood's done it a few times as well. Individual. And we say this all the time with United. If the opposition don't make bad defensive errors and we don't get a bit of individual brilliance, we don't score. We don't score team goals. We don't score from lots of pressure. A lot of what we do is through individual brilliance or mistakes. Jordan Such, Mark, if Bruno is a done deal, what's with the Spurs rumours? I didn't say it was a done deal. Jamie J. Car Videos, I'm ashamed to be a United fan at the moment now, falling out of love with football. It's such a shame what has happened with our club. Well, Jamie, if we were to sign Bruno Fernandes, I think everybody would be very excited. So, Arsenal have drawn with Crystal Palace, thank you. Ryan Maxwell says, if you've seen the pre-season highlights against Liverpool, Bruno Fernandes was really good defensively and was involved in both the sporting goals. Yeah, as I've said with Bruno Fernandes, he will adapt to the Premier League really well. And I'm not just saying this biasly because I support Manchester United. I never thought we were going to sign him after the summer. I thought we'd blown it. So to be back in for him is really exciting. Doesn't mean we're going to sign him, of course. I'm not going to believe it till he holds the shirt up. But if you watch this show, I talk about Bruno Fernandes a lot. In fact, nearly after every game I say it's going to cost us not signing Bruno Fernandes every week, and it has. But I thought he'd go to Spurs. I thought he might go to Liverpool or Man City. I would have followed his career very interested, like Fabinho, even though he's gone to our biggest rival. I think he's a great player and we should have signed him. And I think Bruno Fernandes, if he'd gone to Liverpool or Man City or Arsenal or Chelsea, I would have said he's going to be a success. It's nothing to do with him coming to United. I'll be over the moon if he comes to Manchester United, but it doesn't matter where he goes. I believe that he will be absolutely fantastic for Manchester United. That's how I think it will be. To somebody who's saying that's not the lineup for Manchester United, it is. The lineup for Norwich is Krul, Aarons, Hanley, Zimmerman, Biram, Teti, Vrancic, Buendia, McLean, Cantwell, Ida. Buendia's had a very good season for Norwich, and Cantwell is a decent player. But this is a championship side. Without being too disrespectful, this is a championship side for Norwich, and they are the worst team that we've played this season, and I think that we will comfortably beat them. Even in our standards, we should be comfortably beating them. So yeah, I don't see us having a major issue with that. But what do I know? We may well have a bit of an issue with it because we've had issues in the past. So let's see. What's going on with Sean Longstaff then? Because I'm not too... There's people talking about Sean Longstaff, and that does worry me a little bit. So let's have a look. At the moment, there doesn't look like lots going on. He's starting for Newcastle. Yeah, there's a bit of talk about Man United potentially going in for Sean Longstaff, even if they get Bruno Fernandes. But that would just be the typical sort of amateur level of Manchester United to go and do that. You know, a signing that they desperately want to do that no other fan wants to do. So you give as a fan favourite, and then you go and get somebody that we don't want. But we'll see. Combined, Dalot, Sanchez, Matic, Jones and Rojo are costing us 600 grand a week, 31.2 million a year. Between these five, they have played 10 Premier League games, and it's sad, says Alex Billing. I don't think this signing in itself means that Ollie's out of the woods or Woodward's out of the woods at all. I think we'll have to see how it develops, but you got to start from today. You got to start from today, haven't you? Ida is lethal, Mark, says JW4610. And Ida is the guy who is, I think he plays up front for Norwich, so we'll see how he gets on. Remember, I've got to remind people of this. This is going to annoy some people. This is not on the TV in the UK. It's a 3 o'clock stupid kickoff that's not on the telly. So yeah, it's not on the telly. It's bloody annoying. I will have full coverage of it for you. That's not a problem. But what I always say in these games, there's probably quite a few people who can't watch it. So if you are watching it in the live comments from a country that's not in England and people in England can't watch it legally, then please do get in the live comments and give us your sort of tactical analysis of how things are going. But I think we tend to have quite a good record in the 3 o'clock games that aren't on telly. Especially at home, we seem to be quite good at it. So let's see. Just had a message here. Manchester United to name Harry Maguire as new captain with Ashley Young close to the Old Trafford exit, says the Daily Mail, and that's coming from @TravJ. I find these games always quite odd, to be honest. Where we're so excited about a potential signing, but then there's a football match as well to be played. It is a little bit odd. I've got to agree. Do you think there is a formation change? Because at the end of the City game, it looked like a 4-1-2-1-2. Says Zane Todd. Look, I think United do need to make a formation change. I think we needed to make it from day one. I think the 4-2-3-1 is flawed. Playing two holding midfielders is just stupid when you've spent that much money on your defence. I know he likes to get his fullbacks forward, but I don't think Wan-Bissaka's that good at getting forward. And I think that Brandon Williams will get to a point where he's playing too many games. I worry about how Ole Gunnar Solskjaer manages his squad, and I think we all do, because we've already seen that he plays a lot of players, overplays a lot of players. But when you look at someone like Brandon Williams, who is 19 and only just 19, he can't play 3 games a week for every week. He's a developing player, he's a young player, he needs to be rested, and I expected him to play today, and I think he'll do well today, but he's got to be given some time out at some point. Much the same as Maguire and Lindelof. I think they're playing too much football, and Wan-Bissaka. So he needs to rotate his squad a little bit, but he just seems reluctant to do it, and that's another weakness of Ollie's. Mark, who would your choice be for captain? Says Jack Cunliffe. I still don't think that we have a captain. I don't. Drawty's not coming on. No, Lifestyle Tube, he doesn't come on. Matty E says, I'd rather buy players that suit the method of the football we play. Problem is, I'm not seeing Ollie implementing a style and methodology to the team. Nowhere near the likes of a Klopp or Pep, for example. Yeah, and I think that's right, Matty, and that's what I was trying to say badly, is that if we do see a change of formation today, that's good. But I still think the best formation is the 4-3-3 with one holding midfielder and 2 box-to-box. But when we buy players, and if we did buy Bruno Fernandes, where's he going to play? Because we don't actually know how we're going to play, do we? We don't know how we're going to do it, how we're going to set up. So it's interesting to see, and I think that tactically, coaching, squad rotation has been very, very poor under United. But I'm hoping we're going to see some change. I'm hoping we'll see some change today, and I'm hoping that hopefully with the player to come in, and hopefully it is Bruno Fernandes, we will definitely see some change in the way we play then. What does it mean for Pogba? I mean, look, somebody said last night, this signing could be just spending the Pogba money early. And it could. Who Me says, breaking news on BN Sports that Spurs are now in for Bruno. Jose's Portuguese effect is in play. They say Spurs coming in is now driving up the price massively. It's breaking. Google it. Well, that's been breaking for a while, Who Me, because we spoke about it right at the start of the show, which was about 45 minutes ago. So it's not totally breaking. That's been going around for probably about an hour and a half now. That BN Sports are saying that United are not the only club talking to Bruno Fernandes, that Spurs are involved. This is why I said until he holds the shirt up, I'm not going to get too excited, because United have this knack of taking too long on a deal. And last night we were thinking, we're going to be super quick on a deal. Well, we're not. We're not super quick, are we? Because it's not been going round the press and then announced like you sometimes get with Liverpool. It's obviously still up in the air because Manchester United like to negotiate and not get held for ransom. The problem is if another club wants him, then you've got to pay the price and you've got to play it quick. Mourinho worries me a bit because he's Portuguese and so is Bruno Fernandes, so he's got great connections. George Mendes is involved in the deal and George Mendes is Mourinho's agent. That would be a massive concern. Mourinho would love to stop United getting players that he can have because we sacked him, so that's another concern. And on top of all that, Mourinho's got a history of doing this. Willian was going to Spurs, he hijacked him to take him to Chelsea. Salah was going to Liverpool, he hijacked him to take him to Chelsea. One of those players worked out, one of them didn't. He had to go to Roma to go to Liverpool. But Mourinho has got a history of hijacking deals to piss his rivals off. And I'm sure he would love to do it to United. So I am a little bit worried. This is why I've said it's not done. This is why I've said I won't do anything till he's holding the shirt up. But what I would say is, when you've got credible people saying that we're in for him, like Simon Stone, we're in for him. If we don't get him, I don't even know how I'll react. I had a right rant on Thursday night about how the club's run and saying, Glazers, please get out. If we don't get this deal over the line because we mess up another negotiation, I don't even know what you say after that. I'll be, double distraught. Hi Mark, I love the show. Haven't missed a show in 2 years. I moved to New Orleans from Ireland years ago and the United stand really keeps me in the loop. Thanks Ross McGiven. I appreciate the super chat as well. Can't work out if Ollie's rigid tactical approach is naive or arrogant. He doesn't seem willing to try something else and I don't understand why, says Upbeat Sarcastic. Welcome to Mr. D7, the latest member of the United Stand Members Club, and welcome to Ranbir Kelsey, who is now the latest member of the United Stand Members Club. Welcome to you both. We are 19 minutes away from kickoff. We do need a director of football, Michael Jones. I think that Jesse Lingard is ill, Power Ranger. Ollie said it in the press conference yesterday that he wouldn't be involved. Why is an injured Maguire starting? No faith in Twansebi and Greenwood and Gomez benched. Ollie, get out. 4-2-3-1 again. That's Norwich. We don't know whether it's a 4-2-3-1. Twansebi is injured still, as is Bailly and Fosu Mensah. I don't know why Greenwood and James are benched today. You always assumed one of them will play, so I think we might see a change in the formation, which is more of a 4-4-2 with a diamond 4, with Matic holding it, Pereira and Fred box to box, and Mata. I mean, Mata in this sort of game could be. Look, I wanted to get rid of one Mata. I did. That was Lemsip. Don't worry, it's horrible. You know when you swallow something and you go. Ugh. Not like that. I mean, Lemsip. But I never would have kept Juan Mata at Manchester United. Never in a million years. I wouldn't have kept him here. But we have kept him. We are paying him 150 grand a week. And if we are doing that, then we should quite rightly use him. And if you can't use him at home against bottom of the league, when can you ever use him? So, yeah. Brian Taylor is back on Bruno. He says, Mark, I love your show. Been watching for a year now. Learned lots about tactics from your show. Good. Not just from me as well. Why do you get angry about Bruno when he clearly doesn't want to come to United? He almost signed for Spurs, says Simon Katango. Yeah, you're a troll. And Alu Jajersey says, Bay is not injured. He played yesterday with the under-23s. But you know what I mean. Let's not be pedantic. He's not match fit for the first team, is he? So he's not fit. He's been out injured. He's not back from that injury yet. I know he played for the under-23s, but that's not the first team. If he was fully fit, he would be playing for the first team. He's not fully fit, so he's still coming back from injury. Michael Fetty says, why is an injured... Yeah, we've done that one actually, haven't we? And all right, Den. All right, he says, Bruno has been offered out for 18 months. No one's bought him. People are pretending he's the solution. Who actually watches the Portuguese league? Huge risk. Well, you're going to get your answer there, mate. Me. I don't watch the Portuguese league religiously, but I have watched Bruno Fernandes play a lot of football over the last 18 months, whether it's Europa League, whether it's Portuguese League, whether it's playing for Portugal. Like I say, I don't just pick players out that I've never seen and go, they're going to solve our problem. I mean, I've been on about this lad for a year. He's exactly what we need. He's got all the attributes. Of course, I agree. He could flop. Anybody can flop. And you know, I can't guarantee he's not going to flop. But if I was in charge of Manchester United, as I've been saying for the last year, this would be my number one signing. I genuinely think he's going to tear it up. And look, yeah, goals and assists in the Portuguese league are not the same as goals and assists in the Premier League. But looking at the type of player he is, looking at how he's played in international football and European football competitions and still kept doing what he's done in the Portuguese league, he is a talent that can do it in the Premier League. It's a big step up for him, but I think he's got the personality. There might be an adjustment period, but I don't think that there is. There will be. I think 100% he will be a cracking signing for Manchester United. Mark, I hope Rashford scores again today to bring his total to the season high of his career. Exciting stuff from Marcus Rashford, says Bryce Jones. Yeah, and you know what? If we do bring a player in that can get assists from that sort of number 10 attacking midfield position, this can only out the likes of Martial and Rashford even more. And I think they're having good seasons anyway. Please do smash a like on the video. More importantly, please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, we're trying to change that number in the top right hand corner to 621,000 today. So please do subscribe if you're new. Lead us to the top, says Believe the Lord. We're going to need more than Bruno Fernandes to get us to the top. I don't even know if Bruno Fernandes on his own could get us into the top 4, but he would certainly improve us. And as Bernie Thomas says, even if Bruno's goals and assists dropped by 50%, he'd still be a prolific attacking midfielder in this league. Luke Shaw's out of the squad, says Will Holland. He's not, he's on the bench. The bench is Romero, Dalot, Jones, Shaw, Gomez, Greenwood, James, and I'm tempted to say somebody else, but I've probably said them all there. We've got a new member, which is Philae Guinness. Welcome, Philae Guinness, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. And Louis Johnson. Now he's the latest. Welcome, Louis. Mark, why would sporting officials talk to United officials at London rather than Manchester? Says Ukash Gupta. Because Manchester United's official office is actually down in London. Yeah, there was a bit of conflict in reports last night as to whether they'd met us in London or in Manchester. But I wouldn't read too much into it either way. It can be done in Manchester, of course it could, but we also have got offices in London, so yeah, we can do it in either place. Fabrizio Romano has apparently tweeted. He's tweeted about Ashley Young, so we can take a look at that. Fabrizio Romano. Can I have a B, please, Bob? No, that's a D. Why am I so thick? Here we go. Let's have a look what he says. Fabrizio says, Ashley Young is getting closer and closer to Inter. Talks ongoing with Manchester United to finalise the deal immediately. Young agreed personal terms with Inter. Contract until June 2021. There you go. It's looking like it's going to happen then, isn't it? People, it looks like he is going to be going to Inter Milan, as has been predicted by a lot of people this week. Not part of the squad today, of course. So, yeah, it's looking like it's good. Luke Shaw is no longer on the bench for Manchester United. Tahith Chong is on the bench now. So, don't know what's gone wrong there, but Luke Shaw is no longer on the bench for Manchester United. Tahith Chong is. So whether that's an injury or he's just not up to it. Yeah, interesting. Luke Shaw obviously probably had a warm-up, not feeling up to it. Another injury problem. The man of the Moon 4 says, I would love to sign Bruno Fernandes, but we haven't talked about how the starting 11 would be. Who would get dropped, Fred or McTominay? Neither of them, because think about the season so far, where Pereira is on that 11 next to me. It would be Pereira or Mata who drop out, and you'd just still play Fred and McTominay behind him, or maybe Pogba. Porik says that 3 defenders is ridiculous on the bench anyway, which I agree with. And score prediction, says Liam McGowan. A lot of people going for big scores. The vast majority of people are going for a Manchester United win, which I agree with. And I'm going to go Manchester United to win. I think it'll be 2 or 3-0. So I'm going to go. I'm going to go with 3-0. I think we'll be comfortable today. And then I think we're all going to be talking about what happens with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And whether he will announce what's happening with Bruno Fernandes after the game in his press conference, because he will definitely get asked about it for sure. And now we're getting some score predictions. Let us know where you're watching from in the live comments as well. You've got to just keep an eye out on what's going on around. Arsenal dropping points as well is very good. Please do subscribe. Bottom right hand corner, we're trying to get up to 621,000 today. If you are new, loads going on the channel. Lots of content at the moment because of this Bruno Fernandes news, but we are live every night at 8 o'clock. We've got fan cams as well. Match reactions, match chat, preview, the lot. So get involved with us with that one. Very exciting stuff. And of course, we'll be live all the way through till full time as well, which is great. I'm tired. I am actually tired today. I could do with getting woken up a little bit by Manchester United, if I'm honest with you, because I am actually quite tired because it's been a long week. It has been a long week, and I couldn't sleep last night. I was like a kid at Christmas. And look, what I've been told is that Manchester United will sign. It's probably going to happen on the start of the week. But Adam Eder, can you? Start of next week for Manchester United. So we'll see how that happens. I hope so. I hope it does. Got 9 hours sleep and I'm still tired. It's Cavan09. You still can. Feel tired after a lot of sleep. Mark, would you sign Maddison still if we get Bruno, says Brian Hill? I think it's a luxury signing. James Maddison would be a luxury signing. I wouldn't say no, but I don't think we definitely need him. Rashford joins the 200 club today, I think, and Martial's not far behind on 194. There's some good news for the day, says Josh Sutton, and he's going to go with a 1-0 win. Thanks for this contribution there, the super chat. There's been a change on the bench, says Jake. Yep, there's been a change on the bench. The bench now consists of Romero, Dalot, Jones, Chong, Gomez, Greenwood, and Dan James. Luke Shaw has got a tight hamstring, so that's why they've took him out. So they're not going to gamble with him today. So he's never going to start, really, was he? Luke Shaw's just... No, I'm not going to talk about that, you Liverpool fan. Talking about Burger King. Manchester United just have a massive problem with injuries, don't they? Let's be honest with you. And it is something that's massively undermining the football club. And I can't believe that we haven't had wholesale changes in our medical department and fitness and physical conditioning department for a long, long time, because it's laughable. It's absolutely laughable how many injuries that we do pick up at Manchester United. But yeah, I agree. A lot of people in the live comments are talking about that. But look, Luke Shaw's future at Manchester United may not be. Maybe he's coming towards the end of it anyway. I think we found a player in Bruno Fernandes that's a very, very good player. And I think, not Bruno Fernandes, Brandon Williams. Bruh, you see. I've got Bruh on the mind, it's Bruno. So yeah, look, we'll see what happens. But look, first things first, Manchester United have got to win this game today. And I think whatever anybody says, it's a big jump to be as shit as United are and lose at home to bottom of the league Norwich. Like, they're the worst team we've played. Where's Miasi licking his wounds, says Josh Sutton. Yeah, Arsenal drawing. But it is a big jump for Manchester United to lose today. I can't see it happening. And I know people say, oh, you've jinxed it. But God, if you can't beat Norwich at home, what's the bloody point? We're Manchester United, for God's sake. Young has agreed terms with Inter from Romano, says Ori Langan. Thanks, pal. Yeah. And JT says, Mark, you need to inform the stream. Bruno Fernandes' agent is Rui Gameres, not Mendes, who is Jedson Fernandes' agent and the one talking to Spurs. Yes, but George Mendes is part of the deal entourage for Bruno Fernandes as well. That is the rumour. And that was the rumour last night. Ewan McGuiver, amazing how far this channel has come. I remember being here at 1,000 subscribers and coming on talking to you live about United. Congratulations on the success. I remember the name as well, Ewan, so thanks for the super chat. And Gunnar Station says, will Mourinho sign Bruno for Spurs to stick it to United when he signed Alexi to stick it to City? How strong are the rumours currently? Well, I've got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on the screen at the moment. Not live, he's not talking to me, but I'm just going to listen to see if he says anything about Bruno Fernandes. This is just before the game. He's talking to MUTV. He says that Harry Maguire is ready to play. Talking about Dan James and Greenwood, why they're not playing. He says it's rotation, fresh minds, fresh legs. Dave Red Gamer, Bruno gives us good free kicks options after a long time. Yep, set piece delivery, definitely. Yeah, Anders says they won't ask him about Bruno Fernandes. No, I doubt MUTV will ask him. Safely, isn't it? Patty on the backy. Discarded Aunt 58 says, will you be out? Ollie out if we lose today, Mark? If United lost today against Norwich, I would be stunned. I would be absolutely stunned. Young Arg agreed terms with Inter, Mark, says Philip Burton would. There is an echo, but he probably hasn't heard it. And Alton Burton says, do you think Jose trying to hijack the Bruno deal could force us to do the deal quickly because Ed doesn't want to lose a player to the man he fired? If it forces us to do the deal quickly, I'm all for it. All for it. Because we do need to get this deal done. Many of us do not believe the deal will be done until he's holding up the shirt anyway. So I know there's a lot of people confident that it's going to happen. Players are just coming out onto the pitch now. There's a lot of people confident that it's going to happen. We've got to get the deal done. We've got to get the deal done. You can't be this heavily linked to this player with the sort of people that are saying it's going to happen. You can't have all that and then not do it. It would be ridiculous, wouldn't it? So we've got to get it done, and I hope that we do. But I won't believe it until he's holding that shirt up. But for now, I'm sure we will be talking about Bruno a little bit more through the game. But for the next couple of hours, most of the Manchester United news that's floating around social media is going to be in relation to this game between Manchester United and Norwich City. Bottom of the league, Norwich. I believe they're going to go down. Manchester United need to win. And we need to start trying to build something. Because next weekend, our next Premier League game is Anfield at Liverpool. In Liverpool. And that's going to be very, very difficult, because I think Liverpool will still be unbeaten in the Premier League, and what an opportunity that would be. What a motivation that should be for Manchester United. And could they go to Anfield next week with Bruno Fernandes in their team? It's going to be very interesting. But first of all, let's get this game up and running. Remember, get into the live comments for us and let us know what's happening at your end. Bruno signing is a double-edged sword for Ollie. More pressure on his shoulders because he's getting the players, but now his tactics will come under the microscope, says the Bucknut fan. That's what we want to see. And would you sign Bruno Fernandes, Mark? Says Marcus Cashford. Does a bear shit in the woods? Sorry, I'm just tweeting out the links there. My opinion on Young turning down a contract, says Ugly Travel. I don't want to be... I think Ashley Young is a little bit hypocritical because he is the captain of the club. So it's obviously... I think it's a little bit mercenary to go and do that. But also, what I would say is that am I bothered about him leaving Manchester United? And my honest answer is no. I'm not bothered about losing Ashley Young, if I'm honest with you. I'm not. I'm really not. Imagine the smug mark we're going to get if Bruno joins United and then go on to destroying the league. The I told you so is going to go nuts, says Tobias Grenville. You know me too well. You know me too well. But look, he's got to sign first. He's got to hold the shirt up first. So, we're nearly ready for kick-off. I'm just going to get the timer ready for you as well. Mark, can you shout out my brother, James Tuck, says Ugly Travel. Shout out to James Tuck. Where's my bloody thing gone? Mourinho or Solskjaer, Mark, says Plastic E. Well, I don't want Mourinho back, so I've got to say Solskjaer, haven't I? I've got to. We have kicked off anyway. The time is up and running. We're into the first minute of the game. Who's on the bench, says Mark Were. I've said this so many times. Romero, Dalot, Jones, Gomez, Chong, Greenwood, James. Prediction 2-2, says you always. Yes, I turned the audio off there, so you weren't meant to hear what I was about to say there, so you won't have heard any sound. Norwich are in control so far, says Belial the Lord. I think more interestingly, the first thing to notice with Manchester United is to see if we're actually playing in any different sort of way. In the live comments, is what do people think about that? I think that it's quite apparent that it looks like United are playing with Mata more to the right-hand side than Pereira. So it looks like, actually, in relation to the formation, if I was to change it for you, which I will. Going to change the formation for you there, because it looks like we are playing the 4-2-3-1, which will disappoint some people who wanted us to play in a different way. I'm open to suggestions, but my feeling is that United are playing with the normal formation and just a little bit of a change, with Mata playing to the right. Can you shout out my friend Mike Hawk, says Sabi D. Yeah, if you're trying to get me to say what you think are rude words and it's funny, fair play. But yeah, 4-2-3-1. It's still 4-2-3-1. I'm so bloody tired of Ollie playing the same formation when he can see that it doesn't work, says Braveheart. Yeah, it looks like he's playing Mata on the right wing, which is just madness. It's a madness, really. But what you don't want to see is Norwich sort of getting on the ball a little bit. And we've seen that in the first couple of minutes, that Norwich are getting on the ball. Does Ollie just hate Gomez? Surely it's a game for him, says Ricardo Mitchell. I think with Gomez, a lot of it comes down to the fact that he hasn't signed a new contract. If you've had a bit of lag in, just refresh the stream. Lolal says that the formation is working. Where's me pen for me notes? Got to take notes during the game. Somebody just said that Mata's playing more central. I think Mata and Pereira are probably swapping around a lot, to be honest with you. I would play Gomez as well. I don't think that I don't think the experiment of playing the other three has worked out that well, but maybe Gomez isn't going to get a chance. Young saying no equals only right thing he's done. Worst United player I've ever seen. Average winger, dreadful fullback. No loss whatsoever. Let's move on, says the Duke Turbo Warrior 343. Well, you know, it's been a good start, a lot of people are saying. But then you get Cosmic Summer saying this sucks. I would have liked to have, to be honest with you, I would like to have seen Manchester United play a different formation today. I think that would have been nice. And I think we all agree with that. But we just don't seem to want to do it. And he doesn't seem to want to do it. So it's probably not going to happen, is it? He doesn't seem to want to change this formation from 4-2-3-1, even though, you know, you're at home to bottom of the league. Name top 3 players you'd bin from United. Said... Sorry, that's whizzed by. That was from Gunner Station. You'd bin from this squad. My top 3 players. Well, Ashley Young's one of them, so I can't deny that. Phil Jones would be another one. Remember Mark's Milkman story. Lingard, Pogba and Jones, says Carl Williams. Manchester United will win, says Sanjay Joshi. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner, by the way. We're trying to get up to 621,000 subscribers today. I'm having a bit of problems with the bloody lighting today. It's getting on my tits a bit, to be honest. Give it a little more light. Welcome to Mickey Kavanagh, latest member of the United Stand Members Club. And Alligator says, Ollie's the kind of guy that plays Football Manager at home and just auto-assigns the lineup and tactics. Are we sure he's just not an A1 robot? Hey, we all do that. We all do that. I'm proper lazy on Football Manager, to be honest. It's about getting through it, isn't it? Is there any news on Bruno Fernandes? There is some news on Bruno Fernandes, and it appears to be not such good news, if I'm honest with you, because people are saying there might be an opportunity for Spurs to get involved, which would obviously be terrible. But it's not been verified, so it might not be the case. I think there is still a level of confidence that Manchester United can get the deal done. We'll have to wait and see. Mark, you know the board that thinks financial. How would you think about it if they would buy Bruno and Van der Beek with the money and expect for Pogba? Says just stunning. Look, I don't mind. We should have done this in the summer. We should have sold Pogba in the summer and brought in Bruno Fernandes. So I don't mind if we do that. That doesn't bother me too much. But you've got to spend more than that in the summer. If we spend the Pogba money early on two midfielders and it's Van der Beek and Bruno Fernandes, then I haven't got a massive problem with that. But I'd like to see us do more. Alligator, Ollie's the kind of guy that plays football. Yeah, I've read that one, haven't we? We don't want to have a go at him again. Lingard's ill, JG95. Apparently he was ill before the Man City game, and he was ill after, and he's too ill now to play. So we obviously picked him ill against Manchester City. I keep saying ill, but we obviously have to do. Aaron Wan-Bissaka's crossing is crap, says Harvard. And Rashford's just pulled it back to Mata, who's had it took off his toe. So Rashford's looking lively early on. I think it's a matter of time before United score, to be honest with you. I don't think we're going to have too many problems today. I know that's could be a kiss of death for Manchester United, but I don't think we're going to have too many problems today. I think that the opposition are shit. And of course, they haven't got what's his name, have they? Pookie, the Poundland. I'm not changing the formation because the formation is what it is. It's a 4-2-3-1, and I absolutely think we're doing that. Think we're playing 4-1-2-1-2, Rashi and Martial striker, says Shady Abanasa. I disagree because I think that Pereira and Mata are swapping around a lot. They're just swapping the right wing and number 10 position. But we'll see. It might develop. United do tend to change their tactics after the first 7 minutes, which is what we've seen many a time. Whack your formations in as much as you like. I'm not discussing it in the live comments because we've had these arguments so many times over the years. And to be honest with you, I can't go through another formational nightmare. I can't do it. It just bores the shit out of me, to be honest with you. There's a game of football to be discussed. Hi Mark, how are you today? This is Michael Dunn. I tell you what, I feel good, but I do feel a little bit nervous, if I'm honest, because I think that it's hard to be thinking anything about it. Do you think that Ollie loses 2 out of his next 3 games that he'll be sacked and keep up the good work, Mark, says UK Sims? Well, I think he's going to lose 1 out of his next 3. Well, he's talking about VAR now. Martial clipped. Just asking, I'm sure most people don't know Brandon Williams' strong foot is right. Do you think it will affect him? He cuts in a lot. Says Fitness and Switches to Rathmath. Brandon Williams is more right-footed, but he can use left. I don't think they're going to VAR this on Martial. David James, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. Thanks for joining. It's not going to be a penalty, I don't think. And Sam the man says it's clearly 4-2-3-1. James J. Car Video says, hi Mark, just joined the stream, just letting you know you have the wrong formation on screen. I don't have the wrong one, you smug shit. I'm only joking, calling you a smug shit. But if you've just joined the stream, you haven't heard what I've just said, but I'm not changing it because I don't agree with that. It's not going to be a VAR penalty for a foul on Martial. Well, I say a foul. Can I say it's a foul? Probably wasn't a foul if it's not been given, I suppose. But Norwich have just won a free kick. United on top at the moment, but these games can be dangerous. Of course they can. Mark, thoughts on Jimenez? Surely just an option off the bench. I think that Jimenez, Jack, would give Manchester United some serious depth, which I think is important. I just don't think he's a signing that you can do in the January transfer window, to be honest with you. Thank you, Fitness and Scripted Sharath. Love you too. Rashford's playing well, says Luca. I think Rashford over the last while has been absolutely superb. I think many of us have said this about Rashford. He's in such a good vein of form at the moment. Leicester are 1-0 up. That's a big game for Leicester today. Are they home to Southampton? Would you sign Pukki? Says Hikulaj. No, not when he's injured. Doesn't tend to work out well. The Pratt scored. Leicester are winning 1-0, says Joel Morris. Thank you very much. Like an echo. Rashford putting down players on toast today, says Bryce Jones. Well, 15 minutes in, 0-0. United looking the better team, but it's close. Mata's playing well as well, says Dagost. Sort of game that suits Juan Mata, isn't it? A team that comes to Old Trafford, looking to hit us on the break, playing a little bit deep, not using a lot of pace. It's a stroll in the park for Mata with his walking stick, to be fair. No pressure from Norwich, says Paper. They're a poor side, Norwich. You know, they are a poor side. Newcastle are drawing with Wolves 1-1, says Joel Morris. Thanks for the updates, Joel. Truth Power says that Fernandes would be an amazing boost for Manchester United. Players are looking a little bit better, says somebody there. Lingard's ill, Aaron. Why isn't Greenwood starting? Says I'm very salty. Nick Studios says, Mark, I'm a big fan and I hope we sign Bruno. Well, you're not the only one who hopes we sign Bruno as well, Nick Studios. I think we all hope that we sign him, but until he's holding up that bloody shirt, I don't think many of us will believe it. Please do subscribe if you're new. We're trying to get it up to 621,000 today. Burnley have scored, says Lewis Coleman. We could do with United scoring, couldn't we? I think in these sort of games, I just worry a little bit about, getting that first goal is very important, isn't it? We need Bruno. Mata is great today, says Tanya. Okay, can I just be blunt and say I couldn't give a shit how Mata plays today? He shouldn't even be at the club. He's history. He's old. He's a waste of time. He's only useful in these sort of games, and even then he doesn't tend to do that great. So I'm going to be blunt now, because I can't be doing with, Mata's doing well today, like we're not a shit club that's, sinking. I mean, we've got to start thinking with a ruthless, aggressive mindset, and I don't want to see Mata playing for United anymore. I think he's shit. I think he's past it. All right, he can turn it on against the bottom of the league championship side at home, but he's been shit for 2 years. I will not be praising Juan Mata and saying, Mata played well today, because I think this is the mindset that causes the problems. It's the same reason I will not be saying all the best to Ashley Young. You've been a great servant. Get out. You've been shit for years. You should have been gone years ago. This is the sort of mindset we need to get into, because that's how we become a winner. Is this match being streamed anywhere, says Colin Coleman? I'm sure it probably is. Who at the club now do you think is a future legend? Also, are the United stand coming to Chicago this summer? Hope all is well, says Craig Calamy. I don't know, mate. I don't know. I presume that Manchester United will be touring the States in the summer, and if they are, then United stand will be there. Matthias says that Mata's better than Lingard. Who isn't? Big game for Marcus Ronaldo today, says David James. I think a little bit of individual brilliance will be key. Apparently Southampton might have equalised against Leicester. I fancy that to be a tough game for Leicester today. Ad reacts, I agree with your comment, but me reading it out is probably not the best idea. Joshua, I'm looking to come to Ireland pretty soon, to be honest with you. Looking forward to coming to Ireland pretty soon as well. Hi again, Mark. Who is your current favourite player? Says Nick Studios. What YouTube? To me, I would say my favourite United player at the moment is still Martial. I do love Martial. I can't move away from that. Do you think if Ollie gets Bruno, he will be able to coach players like him? Because in my view, I don't see much of an improvement in these current players he inherited, says Renard. Well, it's the eternal question with Manchester United, isn't it? Can we improve? Smile Mark, life is good, says Alex Billin. It's not yet, is it? It's not yet. It's not good yet until we do get that Bruno Fernandes signing. It's not that good yet. We're still enduring a difficult season as well. Mark, love the ruthlessness. Please bring the United stand to America. Very sad day when we are fighting to keep Ashley bloody young, says Magic Eye. And Fitness and Scripts, Sharath Kamal says, I want you to discuss this. Don't you think even in the honeymoon period we depended a lot on luck rather than quality? Appreciate it. Just recollect the results. Thanks. Well, I think about a year ago we beat Spurs under Pochettino at Wembley. And it's one of the results that everyone says was a great result. And I remember that ball from Pogba to Rashford down the channel and he scored. But second half, they absolutely battered us. And De Gea had a great game. We could have easily drawn or lost that game. So there was a bit of luck in that. But I would argue with anybody, can you tell me a game under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer that we've played well this season? Like, not this season, in the whole time. That's entertained you. Not the results. A game under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in his whole reign that's entertained you. That is my issue. I've just read it out, Mark. Fitness and Scripted Sharath. Give me time. I've just read it. Cross from Wan-Bissaka there, turned away. So United at the moment having all of the ball. Norwich haven't done anything. United having all of the ball, but unable to really make that breakthrough, which is absolutely essential in these sort of games when you're playing teams at Old Trafford that are going to play these low blocks or, try and make it difficult for you. An early goal really opens it up. You don't want to be going in at half-time 0-0. And nearly got in Martial in there. Adriax, how do you feel about the lineup, mate? Also love your content. You're a true inspiration. It's like Ollie says, isn't it? And somebody just said the PSG game. The PSG game was not entertaining. It was a bloody smash and grab. It was entertaining. It was bloody epic, but it wasn't. I mean, what I'm saying is, tell me a game where United have dominated possession and created loads of chances and been exciting. There's not been many of those. PSG was a great game, but it wasn't a game where we played particularly good as a team. Does Ollie look really pissed today? Says Shady Abanasa. Well, like drunk or just not happy? Who's the closest Prem player to Bruno, do you think? Says Jack Reed. I don't know. I don't think that there are many players that are like Bruno Fernandes, to be honest with you. I'd be interested to see what people think in the live comments. I think that sort of the role he plays would be sort of like a Mason Mount, a De Bruyne, but he's not really like De Bruyne or a Bernardo Silva, to be honest with you. Alligator, does Inter want anything else on our roster? Matic, Lingard, Jones, manager, assistant manager, medical personnel, ball boy, water boy, come on, down. Chief executive, yeah, let's add him in. When's the last time United entertained you, Mark? Says Martin Spellman. I don't know, because last season before Ollie was pretty crap with Ollie, wasn't it? So, with Mourinho before Ollie. So, yeah, it is difficult. I agree. Haven't played well since first 6 games, says Rossi RL Gaming. Look, we smashed Chelsea on the opening day of the season, but anybody who watched that said that scoreline flattered us. And I'm not saying that we didn't deserve to win, because you always deserve to win when you win a game of football. But I do not think that we played that well that game. I thought Chelsea probably were the better footballing side. So, yeah, it is interesting. I just don't know tactically what he wants to do. First half against City at the Etihad, says Michael Maystar. Yeah, but even with that, it was counter-attacking football. It wasn't get hold of the ball. It's exciting because it's a derby. But there's not been many times I've been proud of United in the way that we play football over the last year. To be honest with you, 5-1 against Cardiff. Yeah, I think that there's no doubting that the time that we've played the best has been in those first 3 months. And it's penalty to Chelsea. Mark, I worry about how many games our best players are involved in. Fatigue is surely to set in. If you were managing, who would you rest today? Well, I don't think he rests enough players, to be honest with you. United are winning anyway. I've not heard it yet, but it sounds like we've got a goal. I mean, it pisses me off so much. Goal! Yes, Rashford. Marcus Rashford scores. If we get Bruno, there will be a lot of happy fans. The fans will spend more money and the Glazers will make more money. Isn't that what they want? Says TJ Smith. And it's Mata with the super ball and a super assist for Manchester United to make it 1-0. So we've got that goal in the first half, which is what we wanted. I told you Norwich are shit. I really... They're not a team that can come to Manchester United and cause us problems. I'm afraid. Anybody who thinks that who would want that to happen. And that's it. That's it. It relieves the tension for Manchester United now. Marcus Ronaldo. I will update the score in a moment, thanks. I'm in charge. I'll update it when I want. I've got problems with my computer today. It keeps lagging as well. I don't know what it is. I hate 3 o'clock kickoffs. I fucking hate them. And I'm sorry the language. I hate 3 o'clock kickoffs in UK. I'm reliant on the radio that isn't even up to fucking date, even though it's MUTV. It's a shit show. The sooner the Premier League sort this out, the better. It's a frigging joke. I tell you, it pisses me right off. You should not be in the country where your club plays and be 30 seconds behind on a radio. You just shouldn't be. It's a bloody joke. It pisses me off. That's my rant for today. Oh God. Where do I update the score? Pereira's just shot over the bar there. Comfortable for United at the moment. Oh, where do I change the score? I'm not even set up. This is a shit stream, isn't it? To be honest with you today, this is what happens when it's not on the telly. It fucking pisses me off. And I've nearly just changed the score to Norwich winning 1-0. I don't know what's wrong with my bloody seat as well. Every time I move, it sounds like I'm breaking wind. For God's sake, you never used to do this. What's wrong? 2020's doing my head in, I tell you. Well, I think that, to me, that's 3 points to United. Done. I've changed the score. Hallelujah. Manchester United the 1-0. Fantastic ball by Mata to put Rashford in. And it's 1-0 to Manchester United. About 20 minutes too bloody late. But we're winning and Mark is ranting, says Yuande Malasa. You know what it is? I've hated it for years. Even before the United stand. I absolutely hate the fact that 3 o'clock games in my country where my team plays... And I'm not being nationalist here. The Premier League is played in England. Manchester United play in England. And yet all you people around the world can just sit and watch us play. But we can't. And we have to listen to it for something that I pay for through MUTV. And they're fucking 30 seconds behind. I mean, what's that all about? The club's radio station of commentary of the game is 30 seconds behind. Like, what the hell? Karen, I don't know what's going on with Spurs and Bruno Fernandes, to be honest with you. Rashford's looking world class today, says Joseph Samiento. I think I'd look world class against Norwich. They're shit. They're really shit. What are they? The Canaries? Fly away, Peter. Fly away, Paul. Mark, we have borrowed out Sanchez, but he got injured. Do you think Inter will buy him? And do we have our own Bale at United? I don't even know how to answer that question. It's one of the worst I've ever had on a stream. Who's the new Bale? And what Sanchez is actually back from injury now. So, you know, just give me a good comment to get into, because could you not see I'm stressed? Ad says you said you signed him last night. You were saying no, I didn't. I'm gonna have a stroke live on air in a minute. I can feel my face. World class, but apart from the goal, he has not been making the right decisions with the ball, says Bounty Lad. I think that's always an interesting thing with Bruno, Marcus Rashford, is that he's one of the best players in Europe at the moment in relation to his goal record and his form. But he's still massively frustrating sometimes with his final ball. My one would finish that against Norwich, says Fitness and Sharath. Yeah, it was all about the assist, wasn't it? It was all about the assist from Mata. Have a joint, Mark, says Sanjeev. Yeah. Deep breaths, Mark. Yeah. Bryce Jones. Mark, you are doing great. All these people taking the mick out of you are dumb. You're the best squeaky chair and arse. But I do not care about people taking the piss out of me. I'm not bothered at all. I'm more bothered about the fact that Fred's just had a shot from 25 yards. Just wide. Mata positional play is excellent. Future coach, as Ashley GR. You know what? I've said it before. I'm not going to change my mind just because he's got an assist against a shit team. I wish he'd just go. I wish we'd sold him in the summer. I think he's crap. I do. I know he's done well today. I accept that. I know he's done well today, but Mata for me has been absolute horse shit for 2 years. He's too old, and what's the point in playing a player 160 grand a week to play well against the bottom of the league at home? It's like, when does he do anything of relevance against anybody else? It always has to be a total shite opposition who sits back and has got no pace for Juan Mata to do anything. And I know that sounds really shitty, but I don't make any apologies for it, because there's no if Juan Mata was 25, I'd go, yeah, you know, let's give this lad a chance. But he's not the future, and he's definitely the past. It's good that he can play today and we can rest James and Greenwood, but I don't get excited about that sort of stuff. It's so short-termism. It ends in a couple of it ends at the end of the season. Mark, do we need to scout Bruno for ages to know his worth? Our top recruitment team should have known that with their eyes closed, says Akil Kamal. I agree. Vale BCN, thank you. Welcome to the United Stand Members Club. He says, Mark gets the stream box. It's like £100. You get all the American sport channels in HD, so you can watch all the 3 PM games. Gold Piece Prosperity says, try appending Naldo at the end of every United player. It will give you up, I promise. Cheers. De Gea Naldo. Wan-Bissaka Naldo. Yeah, I give up. William Smith, watching from a cruise ship in the Caribbean. Since being here, this is the first game we've been ahead in a game. And Williams is awesome, always calm and collected. He's composed and smart, says Jurgen Wielgen. I seriously would not be giving Manchester United players any bloody wind up their arse against Norwich. They're shit. I said it before the game. Forever PVM says, hypothetically speaking, if Sir Alex Ferguson decided to assist Ollie on getting back in the right track for the remainder of Ollie's contract, do you think it will improve Ollie and become a better coach? Why would we bring Sir Alex Ferguson back? Like, he nearly died last year. He's an old man. He needs to retire. Why do people still say, do you think we should get Sir Alex Ferguson back involved? He's retired. He's an old man. Let him retire. Hey, Mark, do you think Sir Alex Ferguson can win the league with the current team? Another one. You couldn't write it. I didn't even know the next super chat was going to be about that. Sir Alex Ferguson he's retired. He cannot do this job anymore. We had him. He was amazing. We need to move on from this. Any news on Bruno, says Tanioki? No. Manchester United are playing a game against Norwich, so I think the next bit of news for Bruno will come from Ollie in his post-match press conference. I think that's when we're going to get asked about that again. Glory, glory, Man United, says Moadim. Chelsea are winning 2-0. What time is the press conference, says Joshua Spencer? He gets interviewed after every game, so it's normally about 20 minutes after the game, isn't it, that he gets spoken to. And his quotes come out. It's an after-match interview, basically. And press conference. They normally do one of those as well, actually. You're right. So, yeah, normally after the game. Would Rashford and Martial have featured in the treble squad? If yes, who would you have replaced them with, Shandy? No. Why would a Manchester United side that's shit get any players into the treble side that's the best side there's ever been? Like, York and Cole are streets ahead of Martial and Rashford. These are, I really like Martial and Rashford. They're my two favourite players at Manchester United, but they don't get into conversations with Dwight, York and Andy Cole. Mark, go on to Google and use his goal to watch, says Mark Mick Smithington. I've used all that shit before. It gets you to get these Chrome extensions and download this. It knackers up your computer. I don't do it. Do you think Sir Alex could do better with this team, says Big Boy Benny? Probably. United aren't doing bad today, though, are they? I mean, they aren't doing too bad today, United. It's a straightforward game. I think it's a perfect game to play after humiliation against Manchester City. It's absolutely the perfect game to play because it was always going to be a straightforward win. Can you rub your belly and tap your head at the same time, says Tom Scott. I'm not going to do it. I wonder if Ed has Bruno learning Glory Glory Man United on the electric guitar for his announcement video, says Mark Whitten. We are trying to walk through the defence instead of crosses, says Jazzy Now. I still think we do struggle, don't we, United, with how to, bring about real chance creation. But the most important thing from this half, as we sort of get close to half time, is that we have had a lot of possession, but we've also got that goal. You don't want to be going in 0-0. Norwich have come here with one end game, and that is to not lose the game. They've not tried to win the game. And I think that's really important from a Manchester United point of view, that we are trying to, that we have got that goal to put us ahead. Martin Spellman, I think it's very obvious that I'm not at this point. One goal is not enough, says Fitness and Scripted Sharath. Well, I think it probably will be because Norwich have done sod all. You missed my super chat, says Green Grits. Again, I know you're stressed. Look, I can't do all the super chats. I've said this before. I try to do them all. If you watch True Geordie when I was on there, they have 100 super chats. They read about 2. So I actually read well over 90% of my super chats. Martial is poor, but we don't play to set him up, says Scrappy Red Devil. Well, Martial's a striker, isn't he, at the end of the day? And that's what Anthony Martial's job is as a striker. He needs to be given opportunities. We don't create enough chances for our strikers. I mean, the setup by Mata today is good, and that's the sort of chances that your strikers want. But who do you think's doing well, and who do you think not doing well today? I don't think you could give any United player a bad performance because I think that Norwich have been so poor themselves. As the Shadow said, Matic is world class. He's clearly not. But in a game like this, everybody looks comfortable because they're playing such a poor opposition. These same players looked like League One players against Man City, but today they look like Premier League players because Norwich are so bad. So it's been very straightforward for United so far. Liverpool is a new member. Welcome to Liverpool. Martial has been slow today, says WH13. Little harsh on Mata, Mark. Yes, he's slow now, but he's still the only one who can pick decent through pass after Pogba. Still fatter than Matic, says Shervin. No, I think what people aren't understanding what I'm saying about Juan Mata is that I'm a realist, and this season has been horrific. Juan Mata is done at the highest level. This is a poor Norwich side at home that we were always going to beat. And yeah, you can play Juan Mata in a game like this, but if you can't play Juan Mata at home to the worst team in the league, then when can you ever play him? And on top of that, we're paying him 160 grand a week. Like, he's one of the best earners at the club. And we can only play him in probably 3 or 4 games a season where he can make an impact. And today is one of them. And he's old. And he's not going to get any better. He's only going to get worse. So what I'm saying is, well done, Juan Mata, today. You're playing really, really well. You've got the assist. He's had a good game. But I can't be asked to listen to, oh, Mata's great. Oh, we need to use Mata more. No, because he's not part of the future. He's not part of the future, is he? So, you know. Good save from De Gea here. Buendia. Cantwell with a chance. De Gea makes a worldie save. That's a big, big chance for Norwich, and it's a great save from David De Gea. So, best chance of the game for Norwich. Mata should play every game. He is charitable, says Mick Smithington. What a save by De Gea. I have to go for a tweet there. I thought De Gea played really well against Manchester City as well. So, you know, I think De Gea gets a lot of unfair criticism at the moment. I thought he was fantastic against Man City and made 2 very big saves that could have turned that game completely against us. So, he's done it again. He's done it again! Well done to David Hay. David Hay. David Hayes in goal for Manchester United, the ex-boxer. David De Gea, what a save. And makes it right on half-time as well. Keeps it at 0-0. 1-0 to Manchester United, sorry. Why are we struggling to score more against Norwich at home, says SJ Johnson. Well, 1 goal is never enough, is it? 1 goal is never enough. Pete Wilkinson says, if we signed Bruno Fernandes, do you think that there is an opportunity for Paul Pogba to stay at Manchester United? I think Pogba will leave United. I think United would like to keep Pogba, and I think United would pay him a lot of money to stay. I think Paul Pogba wants to leave Manchester United because I don't think he believes that United are anywhere near winning titles or Champions Leagues. And I think that's why Pogba wants to go, and he won't sign a new contract and he'll force a move. What I would say is that you just never know. If United suddenly went on a great run and Bruno Fernandes did come in and everything started to click and Pogba got back and he suddenly enjoyed it, he might want to stay. But I don't see that happening. I think we're a long, long way off. Dan McDougall says, well, you know, it's bad times at Old Trafford and Ollie is getting criticism, but Sir Alex Ferguson took 5 seasons before he won the league. No, I'm not carrying on. Thanks for the super chat, but and within them seasons, relegation was close. Should Ollie get this kind of time and backing? No. No. I'm not having this back in 1989 shit. 30 years ago, mate. 30 years ago. You cannot compare pre-Premier League Manchester United that hadn't won a title for over 2 decades with this Manchester United. It's a different world. There is no comparison. I think only naive people even try and say it. And also, Sir Alex Ferguson had a CV. So, no, not for me. Mark, I know what's bothering you. All the good shit, Bruno. Knowing we might be days away from adding real quality and Jose trying to hijack is painful, says Nick P. And Darren Morris says, Mark, how did you feel when City win the league in 2010 when we score in the last minute to beat United to the trophy? I don't think about it. Like, we've won the title ourselves since then. Thanks for the super chat, though, but it's probably one of the furthest things from my mind at this moment in time. So if that was meant to be like, oh, you know, I have no words for that sort of attempt at banter. But it's half time, and it's 1-0 to Manchester United, deservedly. Although David De Gea has made a fantastic save to keep it 1-0 just on half time. So 1 goal, always a bit of a risk. Just going to share the tweet. Please do as well. But Manchester United leading 1-0. Nice, easy goal from Marcus Rashford, made by Juan Mata. I think even the most cynical Manchester United fans predicted that we would win today. So you could say that that Manchester United are comfortable so far. Got to go through the gears a little bit more. Got to go and try and get 2 or 3 goals. I'm still going to stick to Manchester United to win 3-0. And I think what we might see in the second half is what we've seen before with United, where they're a little bit off in the first half, but then in the first 15 minutes of the second half, they go and absolutely blast the team away. I'm hoping that will happen. Matt has played well. I've got to admit, Matt has played well. The midfield have done their bit. Fred, again, good. Pereira's been okay. Matic has been okay. Rashford's looked lively. Martial's not really had any service and has looked a little bit quiet, to be honest with you. But you always feel that Manchester United have got it in, and Norwich just look. I've said this, and this was the reason I confidently predicted that Manchester United would win the game today, is that Norwich just don't have anything about them. And look, yeah, Campbell nearly scores there, but that would be more our own doing than Norwich. At some point, Norwich are going to get a shot on goal. They've had a shot on goal. David De Gea makes a great save. We probably need to do a little bit more, I think, in the game than we are doing at the moment, because we've got... let me just mute the radio because it's really quite annoying when you're trying to talk. That's much better. We need to do a little bit more from that game. It's 3 points. It's an easy 3 points. You don't get easy 3 points in the Premier League, and you certainly don't get easy 3 points if you're Manchester United at the moment. Chelsea are 2-0 up against Burnley. They're 5 points ahead of us in that race for top 4. We have to win today. There can be no slip-ups, and we can't be complacent. If you look at the first half, 66% possession to us, 6 shots to their 1, 3 on target to their 1. We're dominating the game. We need to create more, though. I think that's what we need to do. We need to be doing more. And it was an absolutely superb save from David De Gea. It was a low curler from Todd Cantwell. And it looked like it was going to go in the bottom corner. But David De Gea makes an absolutely superb save to his right. And that is why it's still remaining 1-0 to Manchester United. And that needs to be a wake-up call. And I think it will be. I have confidence in Manchester United today. Do I think Bruno are going to go and spine Spurs? Just give me a couple of minutes to talk about the game, and then I'll talk about Bruno Fernandes for you. But yes, United comfortable at the moment and looking like they're going to get 3 valuable points. Today is about not slipping up. Today is about maintaining where we're at, I suppose, and not slipping down any further. If this Bruno Fernandes amazing deal is about to happen, that's going to be a huge boost to the club. So today is about getting 3 points. Not necessarily about playing well. When do we ever play well? But getting those 3 points, being good enough. And I think in that first half, we've been good enough to be in front of the game. But I also think that if we want to build out, you want to see a little bit more. I still don't think we create enough chances for our forwards, which sounds a little bit unfair when you look at the chance that Matt had created for Rashford. It was a lovely bit of creation. But where's the decent crosses into the box? Where's Krul making lots and lots of saves? We're still very good at passing the ball around the opposition's penalty box and not creating enough real pressure. And that allows Norwich to go and nearly equalise. And that would have been a farce. If they'd gone in at 1-1, it would have been like, what the bloody hell? That's their first shot on goal and they score. So United are 1-0 up, and I think in the second half we need to go up a couple of gears. And what I expect could happen in this game is that we win the game, and after the game on the fan cams, people are saying, "Well, yeah, we won the game, but Norwich are shit." Again, we've failed to sort of inspire, and we need to start doing that. Ollie's going to get, hopefully, like I say, Ollie's going to get some money spent on him this January, and it could be significant signings that he makes that really improve us. But it doesn't matter who you sign if you haven't got a good structure and philosophy. And at the moment, we're still struggling for that structure and philosophy. That wasn't an easy goal. Credit to Rashi, says Josh Sutton. Well, Rashford's form over the last while has been magnificent, has it? Let's be honest. Martial work rate has been great, winning the ball back a lot, says Gordon Murray. Well, a lot of that goes unknown as well, Gordon, as we say many a time on these streams, that Martial's work rate has and always will be fantastic in that role. Paul Pogba says you're being negative. I don't even know why I read those comments. I think it just came up into my mind, but you're an idiot, mate. And do your view numbers drop when United are playing shit, says Alex Billing. No. Weird flex with that one. Mata never bursts anywhere, says James Bortles. And Martial dribbling like a toddler, says Elliot Hitchin. Hey Mark. I don't know what that was about. Mata doing what Bruno would do every game. Just hope Ollie doesn't say we're not getting Bruno because Mata is playing well, says Shane Heffernan. You've never seen Bruno Fernandes play, have you? If you think that Mata and Bruno Fernandes are anywhere near similar, you couldn't get two different players. They play in the same situations, but they're not the same players. Mata and Matic were good, but they'll get 4 out of 10. Martial, the usual 8 out of 10, says Rebuild FC. I wouldn't... Well, why would that happen? What? That's a negative comment. Why would that happen? I think that if I was doing the player ratings now, I don't think I'd give any United player below the 6 average, because I don't think any United player has played badly. If someone wants to get in the live comments and say such and such has had a bad game, let me know. But I don't think any United player has played badly, because I think, as we said in the preview, this Norwich side is awful. Absolutely awful. So I don't think that any United players played badly. I think actually Mata's probably hovering around an 8 at the moment, which is his number, isn't it? And a lot of that's to do with the opposition, but you can't give players low ratings because the opposition's not that good. Remember when we played Rochdale and I said at the start of the game every United player should be getting an 8 out of 10, because 8 is what you'd expect, you know, a good performance against the Rochdale team. And tonight, this afternoon, this evening, I expect a big performance from Manchester United, because Norwich are shit, and they're even shitter without Pukki. So I mean, look, I can't say this enough. When we played Norwich in October, we could have won that 7-0, and they were dreadful. At Old Trafford, I really do think we've got to beat them 3-0 minimum. They're poor. They're really poor. And it's the perfect game for us after Man City. What about Milan Skriniar at CDM for United, says David James. He's a centre-back. And why are we talking about Skriniar? Because the back of a player that's not him looks like him. Let's talk about Bruno Fernandes then, because a lot of people are getting... I tell you what, I've got to be honest with you. This is not the right sort of game for me today for Manchester United, because we have a game that's very winnable. Probably not as exciting as it should be on paper. Norwich are not poor. I couldn't see us dropping points today. I think it was always going to be a win. It just depends how convincing that win can be. And also, I think that our minds are wandering a little bit in relation to Bruno Fernandes. James Parker says, AP is such a weak link. Dally's on the ball, wants too many touches and final pass bang average. Bruno would be running this game. And he's talking about Andreas Pereira. But I think, James, in fairness, in a game like this, whether you think Matt is good enough, whether you think Pereira is good enough, whether you think Matic is good enough, in a game like this, they've not been bad because the opposition's just not good enough. Who would you buy, Mark? Grealish or Maddison, says Mark Scammell. I'd buy Bruno Fernandes. So let me talk about Bruno Fernandes for you for the moment. There has been some talk of Bruno Fernandes representatives having a chat with Spurs representatives today to try and boost the price up. Now, I can only give you the story. Manchester United should have bought him in the summer and they didn't, and now we're in January. Manchester United have always been interested in Bruno Fernandes. The price in the summer put them off, and I think the season they've had has pulled them back in. Spurs wanted Bruno Fernandes in the summer, but that was Pochettino, and Pochettino is no longer the manager. Manchester United are in the box seat in relation to Bruno Fernandes. The credibility of these stories are not from Portugal. I don't necessarily trust Portuguese reports, even though they might be right on this occasion. I trust people like Simon Stone and other people who are saying that Manchester United are credibly in for Bruno Fernandes. So that is the situation. I think the next biggest interesting part is going to be what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has to say after this game. Now, I'll be doing a match reaction after this game, and I will be live when Solskjaer speaks, and we will hear and see what he has to say. He will be asked about it. He may well come out with something as boring as, I'm not going to comment on anything while it's not done. However, we might get some indication from him. And then I think tonight and tomorrow it'll all kick off again. I don't know. Matt has been very good today. Can he be man of the match, says Jenks1102. For me, I think it would be Mata or Rashford from the first half. Do you think the club will hold the potential Bruno deal until after Liverpool game? If we get battered, they can use that as a smokescreen of positivity, says Merker. Aren't Sporting Lisbon playing today? I mean, that's something I need to check in the second half. I thought they were playing today, and whether he's part of that squad is quite interesting. But look, could Spurs nick in and do this deal? Yes. This is why I keep saying, with Bruno Fernandes, it's all about when he holds the shirt up. If he holds the shirt up. It sounds very positive. It sounds very close. It sounds very credible. And I wouldn't say those things if I didn't think them. But this is such an important signing to me. He's such a good player. He's so perfect for us. Personally, I think that until he holds the shirt up, I won't believe it. And am I fearful that Spurs could nip in? I don't think it's as mainstream as people think it is. I mean, it's only BN Sports saying that. But Mourinho was sacked by us. Mourinho's Portuguese. Spurs wanted him in the summer. And Mourinho has done this before. He's nicked players from other Premier League clubs before. So, of course, I'm a little bit worried until the deal's actually done. But I won't believe it till he's holding up the shirt anyway. What I would say is, if United, if we don't sign Bruno Fernandes, what happens? I can't say that's the end of Glazers and Woodward, because it's not. It should be the end of them anyway. But if we don't sign him, I mean, I don't know. Bruno is in the squad for tonight and expected to start, says Jonathan Reed. So yeah, I mean, this is the worrying thing, isn't it? In talks with Sporting, but clearly not in advanced talks enough for him to be pulled out of that squad. And if we're not in advanced talks enough for him to be pulled out of that squad, then somebody else could be getting involved in that. And yet again, we might be seeing... I hoped last night, when it was all breaking about Bruno Fernandes, that we might see something United haven't done for years, where they get a deal done very, very quickly. It doesn't look like that will be the case. It doesn't look like that will be the case. It looks like it's going to be... it looks like it's going to be a case of, well, a long-term negotiation as per usual. And that worries me. People should watch a few games with him playing rather than just saying things when they don't know. He would walk into all teams in the Premier League, says Gentleman Lab. Well, look, I've been on about Bruno Fernandes for a long time. I believe Bruno Fernandes would be fantastic for Man City, for Liverpool, for Chelsea, for Spurs, for Arsenal, and hopefully for Manchester United. I genuinely think he's a top player. They play in 4 hours and 30 minutes, says Rishaf. I am doing a watch-along tonight as well on the That's Mark Goldbridge, That's Football. If you haven't subscribed to that channel before, just give it a type in now on another browser and subscribe. The live comments is already open on that. So I am doing Tottenham versus Liverpool tonight. So it'll be interesting to see, because Mourinho will be asked about that as well. Mark, very honest, think with Bruno might turn out to be a Mkhitaryan. Maybe the lack of space given in the Premier League may be a problem. But then again, good players make their own space. What do you think, says Ray Frafu. Well, the players are coming out for the second half. Let me just turn my audio back on. No, I genuinely disagree with that one. I do disagree with that. I think that Bruno Fernandes will be a revelation in the Premier League, because if you have watched him play a lot, he's not slow, he's quite quick, he is tenacious, he likes to tackle, he likes to get stuck in, he's really good at pressing, he's a hard worker, he's the captain of Sporting Lisbon, he's got goals in him, he's got assists in him, he's a little bit of a risk taker. I think that when that came out in the summer, it did annoy me a little bit, because he is a little bit of a risk taker. I do agree with that, he does take risks, but with those risks are, those risks do make a difference, and I think that he's a good risk taker, if that makes sense. So second half is up and running. Timer should be up and running. It is. So let's go and get 2 or 3 goals now, I think, in this second half. He's a maverick, says Phil Foster. He's 25, he's experienced, and he's got that... He's not French, but he's got that je ne sais quoi. He's got that leadership. Half times, Palace 1-1 with Arsenal, that was a full time. Everton are 1-0 up against Brighton. Chelsea 2-0 up against Burnley. Leicester are 1-1 with Southampton. And Wolves are 1-1 with Newcastle. Spurs against Liverpool later on tonight, this evening. Gerting Willanga says, United now have a history of welcoming great new players, seeing them score twice and then gradually destroying them. Same will happen to Bruno Fernandes, I fear. I don't think we've had. To be honest, I disagree with that comment. I don't think we've had that many midfielders that have come into the team and done great. Josh Dawkins says, would Bruno Fernandes be a captain? I wouldn't have thought so, if I'm honest with you. I wouldn't have thought he would come in and be Manchester United's captain. Mitchig says, bit of a throwback, but do you think Dybala would have fixed the problem? I keep hearing on the pitch, which is creativity, especially the form he's been in. I would have took Dybala at Manchester United without a question. 100% I would have took Dybala at Manchester United, but I think that I would prefer Bruno Fernandes. This team is way off, says Hippodrome. Zane's in the house. Mark, we were robbed. Oba got sent off, but it's definitely rise of Arteta. Yeah, but how many points has he took from his game, Zane? You know, you can't keep saying that. So anyway, I'm happy. If we win today, we will be 5 points clear of you, won't we? Or 6 points clear of you. I forget. I think we're 6 points clear of you if we win. Can somebody check that? Are we 6 points ahead of them if we win today? Zlatan has scored today in his first start, says Nathan Kerr. Max Moore says that Aaron Wan-Bissaka dribbles like a newborn baby. Newborn foal. Bruno Fernandes on his way, should be in a United shirt within 48 hours, says Sage Majin. It's not 1-1, it's 1-0 to Manchester United. Who do you think was in the car, says False MK? Well, look, let's have a little chat about this. So Manchester United, there was an image coming out of Carrington yesterday in the back of a car that will be 6 points clear of Arsenal if we win. There was an image coming out yesterday that Manchester United... penalty to Manchester United. No penalty. Penalty. No complaints. Williams, again, Rashford with the ball. Williams sets it up. It's 1-0. It's not 1-0 to Manchester. It's a penalty. Krul's good at saving penalties, to be fair. Spurs possibly in for Bruno too, says Wilfie 35p. Possibly. I can't do anything about lagging. It's a live stream, people. We're normally absolutely bang on, aren't we? So there is a bit of a problem with it. And people saying fix the stream. You know, what do you want me to do? Get my screwdriver out. It's just the way it goes. It's 2-0 to Manchester United, and it's Marcus Rashford who scores it. As I said this before the game. We want a hat trick, but I said this before the game. Manchester United. I said it at half time. Sorry, Manchester United get the job done. Simple as that. Get the job done, and Manchester United have done that. So They've got that second goal. There's no way Norwich are getting a second. Manchester United comfortably 2-0. Rashford on a hat-trick. (2-0) to Manchester United. Marcus Rashford. Krul goes the right way every time, says Lane Gruner 35, but it's not enough to put Manchester United in the box seat here. And 3 big points for Manchester United on its way. We are having a few problems with the stream here. Let me just mute myself a minute. I might be able to find... We're back. 3-0. Oh, well, I've come back at the right time. Change the score, 3-0. I'll get up and go again. I told you this was going to happen, though. I said Manchester United have this ability at the moment to come out and from the second half and in the first sort of 10-15 minutes, just get the game done. Two into Martial. Game over. We're only, a few minutes into the second half. 8 minutes into the second half. The short corner works at last. (3-0) to Manchester United. 2 Mata assists, says Joshua Spencer. A corner, a short corner, a header by Martial has made it 3-0 to Manchester United. A penalty for a foul on Brandon Williams. And obviously the Mata assist in the first half for Rashford. And United, look, I said it at half time. I think United will come out second half and blow them away. Because we've done it a few times where we've not been at the races in the first half as much as we should be. Almost like a bollocking at half-time, and then they come out second half absolutely up for it. And I think that's what we've seen with Manchester United this second half. A very, very comfortable performance. And they've gone through the levels. And look, I agree. I've said it myself. I predicted United would win 3-0. They might be able to go and win it 4-0. Might be able to go and win it 5-0. They might be able to go and win it 6-0. But the point is, Norwich are shit. Perfect game for Manchester United. Corner taken quickly. Martial says Jacob Crotty. Probably a little bit late there with that one, mate. You're probably later than this. And Martial's nearly just scored again. What's wrong with the stream, Mark? Says Abdullah Altani. I don't know. Sometimes your live stream, you can get a bit of a problem. I've been doing this for 5 years, and 99% of the time, it's absolutely fine. But it's just a little bit... it's playing up a little bit today. But we'll work our way through it. Please do subscribe to the channel if you're new. Bottom right hand corner to do that. Let me just... I'll tell you what. If I take my phone off Wi-Fi as well, that might help. Mark stepping up because Mata's stepping up because Bruno's on his way to retire him, says Young Knockout. Mata's good in a game like this, though, isn't it? I mean, you're playing somebody who's absolutely shite. It's a perfect game for Juan Mata to play in, to be honest. But should be 4-0. What are we going for? We're going to go 5 or 6-0. Could be huge. Williams has just missed the sitter. Is Ollie capable of giving a bollocking, says Oasis Times? Well, I think we've done this a few times, haven't we? I'm trying to think of the games, but they have been quite recent, where in the second half, we maybe gone in the third gear in the first half, and then in the second half, we've come out in the first 15 minutes and blown teams away. Well, Pereira put it on a plate for Williams, and he's just missed. Could Martial play a false 9 position? I think Martial could play a number of positions, to be honest with you. Mark, this has ruined my Saturday, says Zayn Miasi. Ha ha! Good. 6 points behind us now, aren't you? Mind the gap. Zayn, you Arsenal fan, mind the gap. Brandon Williams should have scored. It was pretty much an open goal, yeah. But we've got this game won, and I think that's the main thing for Manchester United. And that short corner thing, I think about the third goal that was quite interesting is that the short corner routine that we've been using for quite a while, and we all think, what's that all about, has actually finally bloody worked. I bet Carrick and McKenna were high-fiving about that. But loads of shots for United in this second half. Lots more to come, to be honest. But Norwich, you are poor. You are the perfect game for us at the moment. And we've got... But the thing is as well, after Anfield next week, we've got Burnley. So this is the thing about the fixtures. They do fall nicely for Manchester United and Solskjaer. Whenever he has a bad fixture, there's always a good one. Rashford's coming off. And Dan James is coming on. But let me can just give you some clarity as to where Norwich are in the league. They are 7 points off. They're 7 points off safety. They're not. It's the perfect game for United, to be honest with you, and I think we all know that. Chelsea winning 3-0 as well, so we're not going to make any inroads on the top 4, unfortunately. That's why it was essential that we win today. And Leicester still drawing, Wolves still drawing, Everton still beating Brighton. But 6 points clear of Arsenal tonight. 6 point clear, which is quite significant. But of course, we have got to go and play Liverpool next week, which I think will be a real test. So look, the way things are going at the moment, Manchester United 3-0 up against Norwich. Comfortable. I predicted 3. Let's get a few more. But this Bruno Fernandes thing, as I've said before, if we sign Bruno Fernandes, that to me is the perfect signing for Manchester United. I can only be honest and say the enormity of that signing just fills me with optimism. So whoever is in charge of the club, I can't have the player that I've wanted at the club for a long time holding a shirt up and playing for us and going Ollie out. I can't do that. I can't have the player I want coming into the club and going and having a negativity around the club. I've got to hit the reset button. And I know that in some ways is a little bit shallow because we're shit at times. Well, we've had a shit season, haven't we? But the signing of Bruno Fernandes does hit the reset button for me. Whether that's right or wrong, it does. So that's why winning today was absolutely spot on, had to happen. Because we can't make this signing and then be losing to Norwich or dropping points against Norwich. So it's good. Where did you get that sweater from? I want one. Chinese New Year last year. You know, like they've got the Chinese New Year kit out, which I will never buy. This is a Chinese New Year top. It's got a pattern on the back. So, yeah. Brian KK. Ari Guadalia says, love the result so far, but I'll be Ollie in when I see it over 5 games. Hey, there's a long road back. Chris Bernie Schult, welcome, latest member of the United Members Club. Abdullah Altani, let's not get too carried away with the score today. The story's been written with Ollie. Even if we sign Bruno Fernandes, it won't be enough. Ollie needs to be sacked. I think today, any of us could manage Manchester United to a win against them. Who said Bruno last signed for United is off to Spurs? Well, look, I don't know whether Bruno Fernandes is going to sign for Manchester United. I believe United are in for him, but I don't know. A few people saying, I don't think this is an easy game for us today. I think it always was, to be honest with you. Zane says, Mark, enjoy beating the pub team. I think Martinelli at Arsenal is a future Brazilian Ronaldo buy of the season. And what do you think will happen against Liverpool, says Mystic Assassins. Look, we've got that Wolves game before that, midweek. I would like us to win that. I would like us to, this season, win a cup. We're not going to win the Carabao Cup now. I would like to see us win the cup. So I think that Wolves game's important. Is there a United fan that can say we're going to win at Anfield? Of course not. Nobody's won at Anfield this season. No one's won at Anfield in over a year. So we're not probably going to get anything at Anfield. But it's Manchester United against Liverpool. I'm massively excited about it. Imagine Ollie doesn't think we need Fernandes now, says Ashley GR. Maybe it's all a bit... Maybe the club will go, well, we've beat Norwich 3-0 now. We don't need a positive signing. We'll keep our money in our pocket. I am doing a Spurs versus Liverpool watch along later. Yes, Infi. It will literally be... I'll go live just before kickoff because I've got to do the match reaction here before. McNeil says that Rashford went straight down the tunnel. He could be injured. I hope not. He might be carrying something from half time. I don't know. But I don't think there's a United player that's played badly today. Because I think United have actually done what you should do against Norwich. No bad performance. Because you're better than them. And we sometimes do let ourselves down with that. But today, I think against the crap team, we've actually turned up. If Bruno signs, I'm getting his portrait on my wall, says Jakey De Silva. And I'm a daft child, says, I know United are winning, but if I had to choose between these two managers, I would still pick Nuno. Chuck your questions in because this game's done. It is done. So let's have a little bit of a chat and a debate. I'm more than happy to do that. What would I do if Spurs actually signed Bruno, says Luis. I would watch Spurs with interest because I like Bruno Fernandes and I would be hopeful that he absolutely tears the league apart because I really do. I like this player. So I would hope that he would do well and I would watch him with interest. I would be furious with Manchester United. I've got to be honest with you. I would be furious with Manchester United. But it wouldn't surprise me. I'll have a look. What I'm going to do at the moment, what I'll do is I'll go on my phone actually while we're watching this and just... Mark, I hope you do get Bruno and not bloody Spurs, says Zane. Well, there you see, he's a good player. I think if you played Bruno Fernandes where Ozil plays, he'd be brilliant. If Man City played him where De Bruyne played, he wouldn't be as good as De Bruyne because De Bruyne is world class, but I think he'd do a good job. I think he'd do a good job for Liverpool, Chelsea. I think he's a good player. I do. I genuinely think he's a good player. And I think if Manchester United got him, it would be absolutely amazing. Mark, we're still on the Ed Woodward ride at Alton Towers. When are we going to get off and sign Bruno, says Abdullah Altani. Rashford straight down the tunnel, could be injured, says Niku Dibil. But I think Martial today, a few people in the first half were saying, oh, he's not doing this right, he's not doing that right. But I think that he's got his goal and he's worked his socks off. And I think what we're seeing is an evolution of Anthony Martial. Instead of this left winger who gets on the ball, runs at people, scores worldies, he's doing the job of what a striker does now. And that is he's working hard, he's he's holding the ball up, he's running the channels, he's occupying people, and then he's getting his goal. And I think that Martial, I think United fans need to get used to that with Martial now as to what he's becoming. Rashford straight down the tunnel, yeah. Nico, we've read that. Thanks everyone for watching today as well. Please do subscribe if you're new, bottom right hand corner. We've gone past 621,000 today, which is fantastic. So thanks to everyone for that. We want a clean sheet, says Ted Williams. Why aren't we resting a couple of more players? We're 3-0 up. Maguire and Tony should be off, says Abdel Chowdhury. I mean, that's a fair point. That is a fair point. Guys, who won the penalty? Says Yasha Makovsky. It's Brandon Williams, wasn't it? Hi, Mark. How likely out of 10 is Bruno, says Damien H. At the moment, I wouldn't go any higher than a 7. I wouldn't. Be nice to get another goal for Martial. Glenn says Rashford straight down the tunnel. He might just need a piss. Hakeem says, I feel that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer killed this game by taking Rashford off anyway. If we're going to bring on someone for him, why not Greenwood? With 3-0 up. No sense to bring on Greenwood for Rashford. Not to bring him on. Maguire should come off, says Marky. We won't be selling Matic in the January transfer window, Bogdan. Hopefully we'll move him on in the summer. Put Angel Gomez on, says One Lee. That would be nice. I think if Williams keeps getting more and more experience, he could become one of the best fullbacks in the league, says Mikey83X. Well, I've had my opinion on Brandon Williams, and my opinion is that he needs to be kept out of the team at times because he's so young that we need to develop him. In the right way, and young players look at the way we've done it with Greenwood. He scored goals and then not played the next game. I think Brandon Williams is playing at the moment because Luke Shaw's not fit. He was on the bench today and he had to pull out with a hamstring injury. Ashley Young is off to Inter Milan, which seems really weird when Luke Shaw's not fit and you've only got a 19-year-old left back who can't play every week. And I say this, that Rashford scored the penalty. I say this about Brandon Williams. I like him. I think he's got a good future at Manchester United. But he's 19. He can't play 3 games a week. And that's what United are doing at the moment. He's got to have somebody to rotate with him. Luke Shaw, there's question marks about his fitness. Ashley Young's about to leave. You can't burn a young kid out because at some point, Brandon Williams is going to have a few bad games because that's what happens with young players. So we've got to be able to, I'd like to see Brandon Williams playing a game a week, not 3 games a week. When we played against City, it was embarrassing, says James, the music guy. I think it's just typical of Manchester United today, isn't it? I mean, I can't overemphasise how bad Norwich are, but I totally expected United to win today. I actually predicted 3-0. I hope we get more, because there's still 20 minutes to go in this game. I hope we do get more, but it was always the perfect game. I think I looked at this month, and I predicted Burnley is my next one. Guaranteed 3 points after the Anfield game, so... Got Wolves in midweek in the Cup. Then we've got Liverpool at Anfield on Sunday. Then we've got Burnley in the Premier League. And then it should be FA Cup weekend, but it might not be. We'll have to see if we beat Wolves, I suppose. Been swimming? Yeah. Carl Williams says that Fosu Mensah, Delo and Borthwick Jackson can all play there. Don't depress me, mate. Pereira's coming off for Greenwood. can't they just bring Gomez on? I mean, the game's done. What's my thoughts on Ashley Young, Mark? Says Miguel. My thoughts on Ashley Young is that he is not good enough. And needs to go. Smith Jones says that Trent plays week in, week out, so what are you talking about, age? And how can you support the management of Greenwood? He should have played more. Look, it sounds to me like you're dictating some message, so you may as well have just said what your message was, because that's your opinion. I've given you mine. I don't think young players should be playing 3 games a week. And Trent Alexander-Arnold's situation is very different, because Trent Alexander-Arnold is playing in a team that's got leaders and is playing well. Manchester United's team is very inconsistent. It hasn't got leaders, so it's very much different for Brandon Williams. And I think for him and Greenwood as well, I think they do need to be taken out the firing line every now and again. Because do you think it's good for him to be playing in games like Man City and getting absolutely annihilated? And then having to play Norwich, and then having to play Wolves, and then having to play in Anfield. I just think, as a young player, there's all sorts of things to take into account. Their personality, their confidence levels, their fitness levels. There's lots of things. I personally don't think a young player in their teens should be playing 3 games a week, every week. And that's what United have been doing for the last 2 months. And that's probably what we're going to be doing for the next 3 months. And I just don't think that Brandon Williams should be doing that. But you know, that's just my opinion. Yours is obviously a little bit different. At least Ollie using subs with more than 10 minutes left, says WH13. It's been a walk in the park performance so far from Manchester United. It's been as predicted. It's been good. It's been, let's get it out of the way and find out what's happening with Bruno Fernandes. I've got to be honest, that's the thing that I'm focusing about at the moment. I just want to know what is happening with Bruno Fernandes, and I'm looking forward to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer being interviewed after the game, so that hopefully we can find out what is happening with Bruno Fernandes. Harshit says, do you think the upturn in Fred's form is the reason for Woodward's greenlighting the Bruno move? Well, there was this theory, and I think it's a true theory, that Manchester United didn't sign Bruno Fernandes in the summer because Sporting Lisbon wanted 60 million and United really didn't want to go much above 45. So they walked. And what's happened in the last 6 months since then, or 4 months? Well, United have massively seen a drop-off in performance and a real missing of a number 10. And also, we've seen the development of a £50 million player from abroad in Fred that suddenly looks like a £50 million player. So if United were nervous about spending a lot of money on another European midfielder because of what's happened with Fred, those nerves may have allayed a little bit. And also, we've seen over the last 4 months that Pereira, Mata, Lingard cannot do that role. So it could be a culmination of things that have forced United back into that market. Because they definitely have scouted Bruno Fernandes for a long time, and they've definitely been interested in him. I think they walked away because of the price, really, which just sounds like United are all over, doesn't it? "4-0 to Manchester United. Mason Greenwood. Somebody just said, can't we score another goal? Wander the left foot. Get the wander the left foot emoji out if you remember. Just what a player. What a player we've got in Mason Greenwood and Rashford and Martial. I'm excited to see what Bruno Fernandes, if he does come to Manchester United, could do for this attacking talent that we clearly have. Because if we can create chances, then, I mean, Greenwood just creates things out of nothing anyway. And Rashford does, and Martial does to a certain extent. But just He's just got such a good finish on him for such a young player. 18 years of age. What a future he's got. And how many goals has he got this season already? And he's now consistently scoring goals against Premier League opposition as well. And yeah, look, you know what, Norwich is shit. We know that. I don't think anybody's going to deny that. But it's been the perfect result today for Manchester United. I mean, it's been the perfect game after City. All of our three big strikers have scored. We've not really broken sweat doing it. Just perfect. And the way he can finish from distance, it's just superb. Shaw is poor and I'd rather Greenwood to James, regardless of age. I just want to see you play our best players. Look at Chelsea and Arsenal, says Smith Jones. Abdullah Al-Tani says, Mark, I couldn't watch the game today. My BN Sports receiver stopped working. What can I do? Can I find it online? I won't bother now, mate. Just watch Match of the Day. Wesley Gomez, thank you for joining the United Stand Members Club. Appreciate that. And Zane's come in. Mark, Prince Harry is an Arsenal fan. And has been hired by FTV for his own show as he's out of a job being a royal. Bore off, Zane, with your crap Arsenal jokes. You've been beat. You're 6 points behind us, and our goal difference is way better than yours. Can I just, actually, Zane, just hang around for a minute so I can just tell you this. Arsenal's goal difference is -2. Manchester United's is +11. Thank you very much. That's basically 7 points, isn't it? I don't think we can even call Arsenal a rival now. Remember, it used to be the battle of the banter clubs. I don't think it even is now. Sam Clark says, bring Gomez on, man. I do agree with that. Why are we not bringing on Mason Greenwood? I don't know. But, Angel Gomez. Greenwood's on because Greenwood scored. We want 5. Wonderful left foot from Ricky. Yeah, we have got an emoji if you're a United Stand member. Ricky Keeley's just put it up. The wonderful left foot, which is basically Mason Greenwood's own emoji. And it is 4-0 Manchester United. A lot of people saying Gomez in. And he is coming on now. So he'll be coming on for the last 15 minutes. Or 10 minutes. Mata should be coming off because Mata can't normally play more than an hour. Fans singing Glazers out, yet give them their money. Liam Salopio, welcome to the United Stand Members Club. Gomez is on, which is what we wanted. And Martial's coming off, not Mata. We probably won't see Mata for a while now because he won't play against Wolves and he won't play against Liverpool. Yeah, bring on Liverpool, we're going to smash them. Yeah. What if we score 2 more goals, Mark, says Abdullah. What if we score 2 more goals? It'll be 6-0. That's my quick maths for you. Well, it's been a walk in the park, hasn't it, this afternoon? It's been a nice and breezy game. Easy breezy. And we await now, this evening, to see if we get any developments around this signing that would just send our excitement into Elysium skies. It would be great. But we have to wait and see if it's going to happen, of course. Let's not run away with ourselves because Manchester United could comfortably mess this up as they have done in the past. But I hope that we can do it. But Norwich are going down. They're 7 points from safety, and you can see why. I thought they were dreadful when we played them at Carrow Road. I don't think they've been much better today. I think it's been a easy work game for Manchester United tonight. And Martial's just gone straight down the tunnel as well, much like Rashford did. So I don't think it means that either player are injured. They're probably just going for a quick bath. Get in the showers quick before all the hot water goes. I don't think there's been a bad performance, to be honest with you. People are saying, who's been the worst player on the pitch. I don't think there's been a bad performance from a Manchester United player today. I think that we've been I will, I'm not going to run away with it. I'm not going to run away with it and say, oh wow, we've been excellent. You've got to take into account the opposition, and I think that whereas Man City could have beaten us 6 or 7-0 on Tuesday night, we could have beaten Norwich 6 or 7-0 tonight, and I don't think anybody would have a massive problem with that. So, yeah. Zane, you've been very generous. He says, Mark, we'll be back next season. Just you wait. Well, you need to stop doing your contributions, Zane, because what was that thing you said to me the other night? If we finish above us, you're going to donate 500 quid to charity, and I've got to do it if it's the other way around. You better get saving up. Mark, I love how Arsenal fans pay for super chats on our content and have nothing interesting to say. And Matic 8 out of 10 says Lange, Rooney 35. To be honest with you, Rashford's not going to get a hat-trick because he's gone off. To be honest with you, when I do my player ratings in the match reaction stream, which will follow this, I can't deny that the players will get high ratings because, if they played the Dog and Duck pub team, I'd still give them all 10 out of 10 because their performance reflects that. Obviously, it's dictated to by the opposition, I agree. But, people are saying, oh, Matic deserves an 8 out of 10. He might well get an 8 out of 10. But I might give him an 8 out of 10. I might, I'm not going to surprise myself if I do because you're basing it on have they run the midfield? Well, yes, he has. Has the opposition been shit? Yes, but you play the game in front of you. So I think he has been good today for Manchester United, and I think a few of the players have been good. I don't think there's been a bad performance on the pitch. I think that you could say that maybe Lindelof and Maguire and De Gea. Well, not De Gea made a fantastic save actually. You've got to give him at least a 7 just for that. I know it's only the only thing he's had to do. Might be a penalty here for Norwich. We might have a penalty here. I don't think it will be. Brandon Williams on a Norwich player. They played it on. VAR is saying no penalty, so they've just played on. I mean, it doesn't make any difference at this late stage, anyway. But it would be nice to get a clean sheet for United. Comfortable. Clean sheets are nice. We don't get many of them. Imagine if we do get Bruno Fernandes though before the Anfield game next week and his first Premier League game. He might play against Wolves, but his first Premier League game is at Anfield, and then he will be back. He will play against Man City in the Carabao Cup as well. Interesting, isn't it? It's interesting. I'm looking forward to it. Well, I'm looking forward to the signing happening if it happens. That's the next step, isn't it? Can we get it to happen? Oh, I've got some Christmas cake here as well and a cup of tea. Can't be bad. Can we get a 5th? Do we even care? 6 points clear of Arsenal. Still going to be 5 points behind Norwich. Not Norwich, bloody hell, we'll be relegated. Still going to be... ...5 points behind Chelsea in the race for 4th, which is still quite significant when we've got to play... Liverpool next week. You wonder, actually what I'll do is I'll tell you how far away that is. Sorry, not how far away it is, what Chelsea's game is next week, because that is a little bit of a concern, because if we do drop points to Liverpool, which I think we will, I think the best we can hope for is to try and get a draw. I can't see us winning at Liverpool. Nobody does. So I think that we could be dropping further off top 4 if we're not careful next week. Let's have a quick look, actually. Chelsea, 5 points ahead of us at the moment. Fixtures. We've got to go to... I think top 4 is going to be hard for us this season, you know. I think it will be hard. Well, they've got Arsenal. No, they've got Newcastle away, then they've got Arsenal. But I think top 4 will be hard for us this season because we've got some really tough places to go in the league. We've got to go to... I think we've got to go to Stamford Bridge, Etihad, Spurs, Leicester. So, got some tough games to go. Southampton are actually beating Leicester at the moment. But Leicester have got a bit of a buffer, haven't they? Really, in relation to the rest of the teams with top 4. It was always going to be difficult for them, of course, to be consistent. And I did fancy it was going to be a tough game for Leicester today. So what is Solskjaer going to say in the post-match press conference? Is he going to mention anything about Bruno Fernandes? What do you think in the live comments? What do you think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to say about Bruno Fernandes when he's asked in the post-match press conference or in his after thoughts today? I think that he will say it's a future player. I don't want to talk about it, to be honest with you. That's my thought. I don't think he will want to say anything too much about it. So not long left in this game. I'll have a bit of cake. (3-0 to Chelsea, 1-0 to Everton, 2-1 to Southampton. I think Wolves are still drawing as well. They are with Newcastle. Good point for Newcastle, that. I am doing a watch along on That's Football at 5:30. If people want to join me for that. I'm going to do my match reaction after this. I think you're going to be very surprised by the player ratings that I give out today. It's been a long time since we've been able to give out nice and high ones, so we will be doing that today. You can only beat what's in front of you. I'm a big fan of saying that, and you can only beat what's in front of you. And I think Manchester United have done how shit are Norwich? Blunt question there, but they're not good. I mean, they're 7 points away from safety. They've struggled in this league. They're quite comfortably the worst team in this league, and that's saying something because we've been pretty bad this season. I'm not saying that Manchester United are contenders to be one of the worst teams in the league. Far from it. But what I'm saying is we've been pretty bad this season. And when a team makes us look good, like Norwich have done twice this season, it means that they ain't that great. So, but it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. You can only do what you can do. Score prediction for Spurs versus Liverpool. My score prediction is that Liverpool will win that comfortable. Yeah. Leicester have equalised apparently in that game. It's a good equaliser for them. Come on. Might have a bit of an update on Bruno Fernandes for you here. A bit of singing in the Stretford end today as well. Manchester United fans singing as well about getting the Glazers out, which is good from the Stretford end to hear that. I think this is a positive thing. I said this at the start of the season. I wanted that over Ollie. I wanted the the board gone before Ollie, so that doesn't mean it's going to happen. Do you think we can get top 4, everybody? It depends how much of an impact a signing like Bruno Fernandes brings, and it also depends about really if you think that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is up to the job, or is today more about the fact that Norwich are not that good, and we have a certain standard of player that in a certain game will overshadow that opposition, I suppose. We are lagging a bit again, aren't we? I can see it. It's been a bloody nightmare today. Don't even know why. I don't even know. It's been shocking. Link in the video description for match reaction. It'll work a lot better on that one. Bruno will set the Premier League and Old Trafford alight, says Ian Carlton. If Spurs are in, United have to pay whatever they need to in wages and transfer fee to get him. He is that important. And that's it, full time. Manchester United win 4-0 against Fulham. I nearly said Fulham, Norwich. Comfortable win for United. Link in the video description. I'm going to get on and get the match reaction done. We'll be talking a little bit about Bruno in that as well. So join me there now for that. And I shall speak